Wang Han is a hardworking delivery guy racing through traffic when a mysterious caller claims she is pregnant with him, but he immediately hangs up, dismissing it as a scam, and keeps speeding through the city streets on his bike, weaving through heavy traffic with some serious high-speed skill, before arriving at the delivery center to meet his coworkers, where he pulls up with a cool, collected attitude, asking his buddy why he is busy mumbling to himself, while his friend explains the latest gossip about the wealthy, showing off a photo of a stunning girl who is out of their league. Wang Han stares at the photo, realizing he recognizes her. His buddy snaps him out of his trance with a shove, realizing the girl in the picture is the one from his past. This realization hits him that the phone call wasn't a scam. Flashing back a month to a woman struggling with a mysterious drink, she stumbles through the hotel hallway, clearly disoriented, and looking for room 809, she pushes open the door, unaware of what awaits inside. Where a man sits on the floor, drowning his sorrows in alcohol, he laments his failed career and decides to return to his delivery job, until the woman suddenly collapses onto the bed right behind him. This disoriented woman reaches out for his help, leaving Wang Han completely stunned by her sudden appearance, while he struggles to process if this is reality, as the mysterious night leaves him with a lingering memory. Back in the present, his coworkers mock his tall tales, laughing off his claims about dating wealthy socialites, and teasing him for his wild, unbelievable life stories. Wang Han just ignores their jabs while lighting a smoke, telling them to get back to work as he walks away, until a flashy sports car screeches to a sudden halt. A flashy sports car suddenly screeches to a halt as a pair of elegant heels steps onto the pavement, revealing a stunning woman stepping out of the vehicle, who turns out to be the gorgeous Su-Chi herself, leaving the coworkers completely stunned by her breathtaking beauty. While they compare her to the photo on their phone, realizing the wealthy heiress is actually sitting right in front, and she immediately confronts Wang Han about his ignored calls, leaving his coworkers in total shock at the unexpected connection, while Wang Han plays it cool, acting completely oblivious. Su-Chi drops the bombshell news right in public, leaving the delivery crew absolutely spiraling in total disbelief. While Wang Han tries to process the sudden confrontation, she demands he head to the hospital with her, and his coworker practically shove him toward the car. He asks for a shift cover before finally complying. Speeding away from the center in her luxury vehicle, he questions the truth of her shocking pregnancy claim, but she stands firm, leaving no room for doubt, so he commits to taking responsibility for them both. Su-Chi scoffs at his meager delivery earnings, but Wang Han remains calm, defending his honest work. She drops her family name to intimidate him, yet he dismisses her status as completely irrelevant, causing her to slam on the brakes in frustration. As he questions why her background should even matter, they finally pull up to the local hospital entrance. She steps out, clearly annoyed by his stubborn attitude, warning him that her family won't take this lightly, while he doubles down on his promise to provide. Su-Chi demands Wang Han follow her inside immediately, leading him straight into the hospital's sterile hallway, where she heads toward the operating room without hesitation, leaving him completely blindsided by her sudden cold resolve. As the reality of her intention finally hits him, he desperately tries to stop her from going through, insisting that he can provide for both of them. But the medical staff arrives to call her name, forcing a tense standoff between the two of them, while she ignores his pleas and steps inside anyway. Wang Han realizes he cannot stop her stubborn resolve. As the medical team prepares for the procedure inside, Su-Chi lies there, looking resigned to her choice. While the doctors get ready to perform the operation, she closes her eyes, bracing for what comes next. But suddenly she signals for them to stop immediately, leaving Wang Han waiting in the hall, feeling helpless until she unexpectedly walks back out of the room, catching him completely off guard with her sudden exit, and he rushes over, stunned by how fast it ended. Su-Chi hands over the keys, exhausted and demanding, while Wang Han plays it cool with a sarcastic quip, speeding the luxury car away from the hospital grounds. As they arrive at her high-end residential block, where a sudden phone call interrupts their tense drive, forcing him to handle business while she listens in. They finally pull up to the massive Su estate, with the atmosphere between them remaining heavy and awkward. She tells him to leave before her family notices, but he offers to walk her in, only to be dismissed. Su-Chi suddenly loses her footing on the pavement, stumbling forward as if the world is spinning, while Wang Han instinctively lunges to catch her, trading sharp insults even as he pulls her close, but she reacts with a sudden, painful physical outburst, catching him completely off guard with a sharp strike, as she grips him tightly in her disoriented state, forcing him to scoop her up into his arms, while he complains about her surprisingly aggressive behavior, and he carries her inside to find some safety. Wang Han insists on tending to her injury despite her protests. He focuses on the treatment, but their private moment is suddenly interrupted, as two unexpected visitors walk into the room. Su-Chi's mother and her friend are completely shocked. Wang Han tries to explain the simple ankle injury, but Su-Chi drops a massive, unexpected bombshell instead, leaving Wang Han stunned by her sudden public claim, while her mother spirals into total panicked disbelief, and the room fills with intense, awkward tension. Su-Chi's mother demands to know who this guy is, leaving a heavy silence hanging in the air. Su-Chi quickly claims it was just a twisted ankle. While her mother stresses the importance of her upcoming marriage, Wang Han takes offense at being called low class, leading to a heated exchange with the judgmental mother. As the tension between them reaches a breaking point, Su-Chi finally dismisses him to end the awkward confrontation. He turns to leave while another woman enters the scene, and the mother continues to insult him as he exits. Suchi finally drops the act as her mother presses for the truth, refusing to buy the innocent routine anymore. So Suchi drops the massive bombshell, leaving her mother in total panic shock while she questions the choice of partner. But Suchi stands firm on keeping it, causing her mother to absolutely lose her cool, while Suchi insists he is taking responsibility as her mother spirals over the family reputation. Suchi shuts down her mother's prying, while her friend explains their sudden arrival, though Suchi remains visibly unimpressed until her friend proposes a scandalous cover story, suggesting she blame the delivery guy for everything. Meanwhile, Wang Han wanders the quiet villa district, realizing he is stranded without any public transport, as a sleek black car pulls up nearby, catching him off guard as it stops abruptly, and a powerful chairman steps out to greet him. This chairman arrives to escort Wang Han, who plays it cool while accepting the ride, requesting a quick wardrobe change before the event. As they drive off toward the high-stakes bidding, where the elite crowd gathers in full force, Wang Han steps into the venue looking sharp, but a familiar face spots him immediately, questioning why a delivery guy is crashing the party, and she assumes he is working the event, leaving him to struggle for a quick explanation. This friend grabs Wang Han with intense urgency, dragging him away to demand some real answers. She drops the bombshell about Suchi's pregnancy, leaving him completely stunned by the unexpected news, as she confirms Suchi decided to keep it, making him realize the surgery never actually happened. While she threatens him with dire consequences if he leaves, she punctuates her frustration with a sharp kick, leaving him reeling from the sudden physical blow, as the formal bidding event finally kicks off. Wang Han realizes he must settle things quickly, as a professional assistant suddenly approaches him, introducing herself as Lu Yue, his new aide, and she urges him to head toward the bidding, where the high-stakes event is already underway. With the crowd buzzing about the Qin family's bid, as a smug, mustache-twirling man takes the stage, introducing himself as the arrogant Qin Lei, while Lu Yue identifies him as their main rival, leaving Wang Han unimpressed by the man's bold claims. Wang Han realizes Qin Lei is Suchi's fiancé, and he decides to crash the man's plans as the high-stakes bidding for the new district begins, with Qin Lei confidently opening with 5 billion, making the crowd assume the deal is already sealed. But Wang Han immediately counters with 6 billion, leaving the entire room in a state of shock as he stands his ground against the powerful family, while his firm grip shows he is not backing down, and Qin Lei loses his cool at the unexpected challenge. Wang Han reminds everyone that the auction rules apply, but Qin Lei throws a tantrum about his family status, while our guy remains completely unfazed by the empty threats, leaving the crowd whispering about his sudden, bold defiance as the mustache-twirling rival desperately tries to outbid him. Wang Han calmly raises the stakes to 800 million, causing the furious Qin Lei to claim he owns the city, but his aggressive posturing fails to intimidate our cool protagonist, as the rival pushes the price to 900 million, and Wang Han just laughs at the man's pathetic desperation. Wang Han drops a massive 1 billion bid, causing the furious rival to lash out physically, but our guy easily deflects the clumsy attack, sending the arrogant man stumbling across the floor, while the security team rushes in to intervene, yet Wang Han remains completely focused on his target, delivering a swift, decisive strike to end the threat, leaving the rival shocked by the sudden retaliation as Wang Han follows through with a powerful blow, sending the man flying into the wall with impact. This arrogant rival is sent flying across the room, while Wang Han coolly asks for any other bids, leaving the stunned auctioneer with absolutely nothing to say, so Wang Han leaves the paperwork to his aide. Meanwhile, a mysterious woman waits in a private room, wondering why her associate is in such a rush, as an older gentleman urges her to remain cautious, though she is clearly frustrated by his mysterious behavior, until an assistant reports that the auction has concluded, leaving her shocked that the Qin family actually lost. This grandfather introduces Lin Shuifu to Wang Han, but she remains unimpressed by his arrogant attitude, so she steps away to report the auction failure, only to run straight into Wang Han in the hall, where she is shocked to see the delivery guy again while he watches her walk off to make her call, and he heads back to meet with the old man, who confirms that the business matter is finally settled while trying to set him up with the single Shuefu. But Wang Han is only interested in discussing Suchi. Wang Han probes into Suchi's private life, learning she has never actually had a boyfriend, which gives him a smug sense of satisfaction until his phone lights up with her incoming call, and he arranges a quick meeting to see her, brushing off the old man's attempt at matchmaking, while Suchi waits alone in the quiet park, looking pensive as she contemplates their complicated situation, until Wang Han pulls up on his sleek motorcycle, finally arriving to face her in the open air. Wang Han sits down to address Suchi, offering to support her and the baby immediately, but she remains skeptical of his financial stability, while he confidently dismisses her concerns about money, as she points to her expensive watch as proof, yet he accurately identifies the luxury timepiece with ease, leaving her stunned by his sudden display of knowledge, while he keeps pushing his offer with total nonchalance, until her phone interrupts their tense, awkward moment as she answers a call about her upcoming wedding. Suchi asks for a ride home, and Wang Han readily agrees to the request, speeding off into the city on his motorcycle with Suchi holding on tight during the ride. They weave through traffic toward her family home, arriving at the estate as the sun sets, where they walk inside to face her mother, who is already hosting the impatient Chin Hao. And Suchi tries to brush off the tension, while her mother reminds her of the upcoming wedding. Chin Hao arrives to push the wedding agenda, acting like he still holds all the cards, while Suchi tries to stall the awkward conversation. But he brushes off her concerns with arrogant confidence, clearly showing his true predatory colors to everyone as her mother pressures her to accept the deal until Suchi finally snaps and refuses the union, leaving her mother stunned by such public defiance as Wang Han steps in to drop the bombshell, leaving the entire room in absolute speechless shock. Wang Han stands firm as Suchi defends him, while her mother explodes in a fit of rage, but Wang Han catches her hand mid-swing with ease, calmly questioning why she values status over her daughter as he calls out her greedy, manipulative behavior, leaving the mother screaming insults at him in frustration, while Qin Hao watches the scene with pure malice as he threatens them both with a violent outburst. But Wang Han silences him with a sharp, swift motion, sending the arrogant rival crashing to the floor. Wang Han declares Suchi is under his protection, while the furious rival scrambles up to retaliate, grabbing a heavy object to use as a weapon and charging forward with blind, unhinged rage, as Wang Han calmly tells Suchi to step back, dodging the clumsy swing with effortless grace, before delivering a swift counter that sends him flying, leaving the arrogant man reeling from the sudden impact, while Wang Han seizes him to deliver a final lesson and shuts down the confrontation with a decisive finish. This rival cries out in total defeat, while Wang Han keeps him firmly in check, as a group of elders storms into the room, leaving Suchi shocked to see her grandfather arrive, who marches forward to confront the chaotic scene, declaring he heard every word of their argument, and demanding to know the truth about the pregnancy, which Suchi confirms with a quiet, steady voice, causing the elders to panic over the family reputation, as they demand the situation be resolved immediately. This elders panic as the family reputation crumbles, leaving Suchi visibly overwhelmed by the chaos, and she begs them to stop the endless fighting. But the stress finally becomes too much for her, so Wang Han steps in to whisk her away, ignoring the threats shouted by her angry family members, while he coldly questions their lack of basic humanity and carries her out of the room with ease, smashing through the obstacles blocking their path to freedom, as he dares anyone to challenge his bold departure. This family is left in stunned silence, while Wang Han carries Suchi away, arriving safely at his own private apartment, where he gently lays her down to rest. Noticing her phone buzzing with a notification, he picks it up to check the screen, realizing it is actually her birthday today. So he decides to surprise her with kindness, leaving her to sleep for a short while, until she finally wakes up in unfamiliar surroundings. Wang Han greets Suchi with a warm meal, inviting her to join him at the table, where he boasts about his top-tier culinary skills, causing Suchi to tease him for his arrogance, while she reminds him to keep the mood light as he suddenly produces a small birthday cake, surprising her with a heartfelt birthday celebration, leaving her completely stunned by his thoughtful gesture, as he playfully takes credit for his own kindness, and she looks at him with newfound genuine affection. Wang Han keeps up his playful, cocky act, while Suchi laughs off his ridiculous antics, as she finally gives in to taste his cooking, admitting the food is actually surprisingly good, keeping the mood light over their quiet meal, until he tells her to make a birthday wish, shifting the tone as he asks about her future, while she challenges him to keep his earlier promises. So he dares her to marry a delivery guy, and she boldly agrees to register their marriage tomorrow. Wang Han confirms their bold plan with confidence, but a sudden phone call interrupts their meal, so he steps away to handle the business, moving to the balcony to take the call, where he learns of a threat targeting his life. Yet he remains calm while planning his next move, leaving Suchi alone in the living room, as she receives a birthday call from a friend, who is shocked to hear Wang Han beat them, while Suchi enjoys her cake in quiet contentment. Suchi casually drops the marriage news, leaving her friend frantic about the choice, while Suchi remains focused on her cake, as Wang Han gets an urgent update outside, learning his location was leaked to someone powerful, which forces him to confront his panicked subordinate, who clearly fears the consequences of his betrayal, leaving Wang Han fuming at the sudden backstab, as the caller laughs off the dangerous situation, leaving Wang Han realizing he is in trouble. Wang Han gets an unexpected call from a stranger, who introduces himself as Lin Xuefu, looking for a partnership, offering total cooperation in exchange for help with his project, while Wang Han listens with a cool, detached expression, accepting the apology for the intrusion with calm indifference, before making a bold demand for specific supplies and insisting that Suchi takes full control of the deal, while she relaxes in the room, unaware of the shift, as she shares the good news with her friend, keeping her own secrets while Wang Han watches on. Suchi is surprised by his reading habit, while Wang Han teases her about his mysteries, making her nervous about his sudden proximity, but he just tucks her in for some rest, showing his caring side by worrying about her health, leaving her flustered by his surprisingly gentle behavior, until the sun rises on a brand new day, where Wang Han starts his morning with intense training, as Suchi walks in and mocks his weird pose. But he insists his strange technique is totally legitimate. Suchi questions how a delivery guy knows martial arts, while he brushes off her curiosity with a smug grin, as she admits she is impressed by his unexpected thoughtfulness, and he drops the bombshell that they are heading to his place, explaining they need his documents to finalize their marriage registration, which Suchi confirms with a bold, defiant attitude, as they walk toward his bike to handle business, while she worries about her family's reaction to their union, and she teases him about his lack of a prestigious background, leaving him to laugh off her concerns with total confidence. Wang Han jokes around while inviting Su Qi to ride, and she hops on, holding him tight as they depart, speeding away from the estate before anyone can react, while the furious rival orders his goons to hunt them, demanding they intercept the pair and cause some trouble. So the hired thugs immediately mobilize to give chase, unaware that Wang Han is already pushing his bike, though he quickly notices a suspicious van tailing them, so he tells Su Qi to head home for safety and accelerates to lead the pursuers into a trap. Wang Han speeds away with Su Qi, keeping his cool as they hit the road while he spots the suspicious van trailing them and decides to lead the pursuers into position, pulling away from the estate at high speed, drifting his bike to bait the incoming threat, until he arrives at a secluded, strategic spot where he senses the ambushers closing in fast, so he prepares to handle the goons alone and steps inside to finish this once and for all. Wang Han prepares his gear for the incoming threat, checking his weapon with a cold, focused gaze, but he is suddenly interrupted by a confused arrival, as a woman walks into the room, stunned, demanding to know why a delivery guy is there. Before he spots a laser sight and tackles her, narrowly dodging a bullet that shatters the glass, shielding her from the danger with his own body, and warning her to stay silent to survive, while she stares at him in complete, terrified shock. Wang Han takes aim at his target, firing a precise shot to neutralize the threat, as the projectile streaks through the open air, striking its mark with calculated, lethal efficiency, leaving the enemy defeated in a single move. But a confused woman suddenly confronts him, demanding answers about his armed presence, when a stray bullet whizzes past them, forcing Wang Han to tackle her for safety, as they narrowly dodge the incoming attack. Wang Han realizes he is being watched from across the way, while he shields the woman from the incoming line of fire, noting that his day has suddenly become far too crowded, as he keeps his weapon ready to return the favor, firing back with precision to silence the hidden shooter, while the projectile strikes the wall with a sharp crack, revealing the enemy sniper struggling to maintain his position, as he continues to fire blindly into the room, forcing Wang Han to keep his companion tucked away safely, while he calmly inspects the empty shell casing left behind. Wang Han identifies the specialized bullet from a dangerous organization, while questioning his companion about her connection to these attackers, as he realizes his limited resources leave him in a bind, recalling a past business dispute that likely triggered this sudden assault, but he quickly shoves her down to avoid an incoming projectile, shielding her from the shattered glass as the room erupts, while he calmly picks up a piece of evidence from the floor, before making a swift move to counter the hidden threat, launching his own response toward the source of the danger, as he finally locks eyes with the sniper across the way. Wang Han successfully neutralizes the sniper, telling his companion the coast is clear, but she demands to know his true identity, which he dismisses with a firm, silent warning, sensing more trouble lurking right outside the door, as she realizes they are still in danger, and he pulls her close to keep her hidden, while a group of armed thugs enters the scene, assuming the delivery guy is just a common thief, until Wang Han greets them with a casual wave. Wang Han greets the intruders with a calm, mocking smile, while the thugs demand he pay for his alleged disrespect, but he just brushes off their threats with total indifference. So the group charges forward, ready to settle the score, yet Wang Han effortlessly counters with a swift, precise kick, leaving his first attacker reeling from the sudden, heavy impact, as he dispatches the others with equally clinical, efficient movements, while the remaining goon stares in absolute, terrified disbelief, struggling to process how a delivery guy is this skilled before Wang Han ducks a desperate swing to end it. Wang Han lands a clean strike, knocking his opponent down, while the woman enters the room, witnessing the chaos unfold, and her sudden scream distracts the remaining armed thug, who snaps at her to be quiet while brandishing his blade, as he tries to grab her to use as a shield, threatening her life while holding her at knife point. But Wang Han remains completely unfazed by the desperate ultimatum, calmly walking forward while daring the thug to act, as the panicked attacker begs him to stop his advance, and Wang Han strikes again, ending the standoff in seconds. Wang Han mocks the thug for his pathetic blade skills, while the attacker realizes he is completely outmatched, and Wang Han coldly questions why he is hesitating before he effortlessly shatters the weapon into pieces, leaving the goon stunned by such overwhelming power, as Wang Han grabs him by the throat, while the terrified thug tries to name-drop his organization. But Wang Han remains unimpressed and delivers a strike, sending the intruder flying backward across the room and lecturing him on the error of his ways. Wang Han delivers a final, decisive blow, leaving the thug desperate and begging for mercy, as the goon pleads for his life with excuses. But Wang Han demands the truth in 3 seconds, learning that his rival is already targeting Su Qi, which forces him to react with immediate, explosive speed, while the police arrive at the chaotic scenes, so he leaves the woman behind to handle them, telling her to stay calm as authorities enter, while the officers begin their investigation into the mess. This woman explains the ambush to the authorities, while the police haul the defeated thugs away, and discover more mysterious casualties nearby, but back inside, a new threat emerges, as Chin-Hao corners the woman with malicious intent, gloating that her protector is nowhere to be found, while he forces his way into her personal space, convinced that he finally has the upper hand, until a sudden, heavy kick stops him cold and Wang Han appears to settle the score. Wang Han steps in with a cold warning, while the entitled intruder tries to flex his status, but our guy remains completely unimpressed by the empty threats, so the spoiled brat lashes out in a desperate rage, only to be sent flying by a single precise strike as Wang Han turns his focus to comforting the lady, promising that he will keep her safe from further harm, while the defeated troublemaker scrambles away in total disgrace, and the pair shares a moment to catch their breath before she asks him to join her for a meeting. Su-chi arrives at the corporate headquarters, heading straight into the high-stakes meeting room, where Wang Han is surprisingly already waiting, leaving everyone shocked by their unexpected connection as they maintain a professional facade for now, diving right into the details of the project, while the corporate team watches the tense exchange, until Elder Su makes a sudden, uninvited entrance, clearly eager to get involved in the negotiations, and immediately questions why Wang Han is present. Su Jianye storms in, demanding Su-chi vacate her seat, while Sula tries to hijack the meeting for himself, ignoring Su-chi as the family drama escalates quickly, and her uncle Jianhong coldly strips her of all authority. But Wang Han stands his ground against the blatant disrespect, calling out the family for their pathetic, greedy behavior, while they mock his background and spread malicious, false rumors, as the elder demands he be thrown out immediately, exploding in a fit of rage at the perceived insolence. Yet Wang Han remains defiant, insisting Su-chi leads this. Wang Han claims Su-chi as his fiancée, leaving the greedy family members completely stunned, while the corporate partner shuts down their interference, telling the elder he is simply not qualified, which leaves the old man speechless and shaken, forcing the family to quickly back down and agree, as the partners dismiss them to finalize the deal, leaving the rejected group to retreat in total defeat, while they continue bickering among themselves in frustration, as Wang Han watches them leave with a smirk. Sule confronts his father about Su-chi's new authority, but the elder promises he has a secret plan, while the uncle suggests they discuss the matter in private, revealing the shocking news that Su-chi is actually adopted, leaving the men curious about her mysterious true origins, though they dismiss her background as completely worthless, as the elder grins while plotting to steal her project, and Sule agrees to play along with the scheme, while the corporate building looms large over the city, where Wang Han casually approaches some guards for a light. Wang Han plays it cool while chatting with the guards, joking about the eternal rivalry between delivery guys and security, though he remains unimpressed by their attempts at small talk until the guards suddenly snap to attention for President Su, and they try to belittle him for his humble job, but Su-chi arrives and greets him with genuine warmth, leaving the stunned guards to realize they misjudged his status, while one guard tries to offer him some unsolicited advice, before Su-chi pulls up in her car to leave, and Wang Han waves goodbye, leaving the guards completely bewildered. Wang Han speeds away as the guards watch, while he and Su-chi discuss their recent success, and he suggests she thank the big boss personally, before casually dropping the news about their upcoming marriage, which leaves her questioning his true intentions and motives, as she mocks his humble job and financial status, while they drive toward their next destination in style, and he teases her about her lack of navigation skills, until a sudden phone call interrupts their playful banter, forcing him to deal with a new delivery mission. Wang Han takes a call about his marriage, getting grilled by an elder who knows everything, while the old man mocks his romantic choices, leaving Wang Han stressed about a looming family visit as he jokingly threatens the elder before hanging up, and he brushes off the drama to head home, walking back into their shared space with Su-chi, where they find a mysterious card waiting for them, so he decides to cook to ease the tension, leaving Su-chi feeling surprisingly domestic and content. Wang Han tells Su-chi to relax, while he happily embraces his role as house husband, leaving Su-chi speechless at his sudden domesticity. This next day they head out together, officially becoming a married couple at the office, though he teases her about his new schedule, and she fires back with a sharp remark as he shifts focus to his next mission, arriving at the imposing Black Dragon Group headquarters, where he prepares to confront the transformed gang. Wang Han arrives to confront the shady group, asking the thugs exactly what they are doing and coldly stating he is here to collect, but the goons try to brush him off dismissively until they lose their patience and charge him, only for Wang Han to dodge their clumsy attacks, delivering a swift kick to keep them back, as he effortlessly handles their aggressive, desperate lunges, while the remaining thugs try to swarm him, and he shuts them down with a single strike. Wang Han effortlessly pins the thug to the floor, demanding to be taken straight to the boss, while Baldy Lu relaxes in his office with company, enjoying a drink while completely oblivious to the danger, completely unaware that his sanctuary is about to crumble, until a panicked underling bursts in with bad news, and Lu reacts with immediate arrogant fury at the intrusion, as his henchman tries to warn him of the threat, but Wang Han crashes through the door with force, sending the guard flying before the boss can react. Baldy Lu erupts in a fit of rage as a heavy sign crashes through his office door, leaving him completely stunned by the sudden intrusion, and he trembles upon seeing the legendary black card, realizing the terrifying organization behind the mysterious visitor, while Wang Han stands tall, revealing his true identity, causing the arrogant boss to collapse in pure fear, as Lu desperately begs for mercy from the prince, who calmly lights a cigarette to set the mood, while demanding answers about the missing shipment of goods. Wang Han demands the stolen goods back, warning the boss that his presence is absolute, but the desperate thug pulls a weapon instead, so Wang Han flicks his cigarette with precision, disabling the firearm before it can even fire, while showing off his legendary black card again, and making it clear that threats have consequences, leaving the boss defeated in a single move. As the room erupts in pure chaotic shock and the henchmen realize their leader is finished. This henchmen panic as they realize their leader is down, while the remaining thugs scramble to process the sudden power shift. But Wang Han calmly offers them a simple ultimatum, forcing the group to pledge their loyalty to him immediately, and he casually orders them to retrieve his missing shipment. As the Black Dragon headquarters looms over the city streets, while a vengeful rival ignores warnings to hunt Wang Han down, marching toward the building with a dangerous singular focus, desperate to pay any price to see the delivery guy finished. Unaware that Wang Han has already claimed the entire organization, a newcomer bursts in looking for Boss Liu, but he finds a different man in charge, who calmly claims the Black Dragon Society now, and the visitor offers millions for a hit, targeting a delivery guy who caused him trouble, which makes the new boss laugh at the absurdity, as the visitor insists on his vengeful request, so the boss agrees to handle the job, promising to take the client along for revenge, while the henchmen mobilize to hunt Wang Han down. Wang Han gets a reminder about his boss, so he heads out on his bike as usual, keeping his cool while cruising through the city streets until a sudden road encounter forces him to stop, where a familiar face shows up looking for trouble. But Wang Han remains unimpressed by the aggressive display, as his opponent screams threats about making him suffer, clearly underestimating who he is trying to intimidate today. So Wang Han shuts down the outburst with ease and puts the guy in his place with force. Wang Han forces the attacker to the ground, leaving the man kneeling in total defeat, while he calmly ignores the shouting from the sidelines, as a new group of thugs steps into the light, mocking his delivery job with misplaced confidence, while the fallen boss demands a slow, painful revenge, and the leader tries to get uncomfortably close, only to be met with a cold, sharp rejection, as Wang Han strikes back with lightning speed, putting the arrogant newcomer firmly in his place. This thug realizes he messed with the wrong guy, as he desperately tries to distance himself from the conflict, but Boss Wen immediately turns on his own associate, sending the instigator flying with a swift, decisive kick, while Wang Han looms over the defeated man, warning him to never cross that line again, and making it crystal clear that Su Qi is off limits, before checking his phone and realizing he is running late, leaving the confused onlookers stunned by his sudden departure, as Boss Wen warns them that their target is untouchable. Wang Han pulls up to a sketchy apartment complex, finding the hallway just as run down as expected, and he knocks on the door to complete his delivery. But the guy who answers is clearly hiding something, looking nervous as he fumbles with his payment, when suddenly a woman screams for help from inside, and the man tries to silence her with force, leaving Wang Han holding the bag in total confusion, while the thugs inside decide to target the delivery guy, forcing Wang Han to deal with this unexpected mess. Wang Han finds himself cornered by an aggressive thug, who tries to take a swing with a blade, but our delivery guy is clearly over this nonsense, realizing he has to deal with yet another amateur, as the guy lunges forward with zero actual technique, so Wang Han effortlessly catches him by the arm, delivering a swift strike to shut the guy down, while the attacker cries out for some backup, only to be sent flying across the room instead, leaving Wang Han to stare down the remaining trouble. Wang Han quickly steps in to assist the woman, checking if she is physically okay after the struggle, and he helps her up while keeping his cool, telling her to contact her family for a safe pickup, while he prepares to secure the two troublemakers nearby, leaving the pair tied up and unable to escape, as the woman introduces herself as Xia Wanying to him, but her phone suddenly rings with an incoming call, so she hands the device over to Wang Han, who answers only to hear a stern, familiar voice. Wang Han gets a sudden, demanding call, though the caller hangs up before he responds, as a concerned father bursts in with guards, finding his daughter safe thanks to our guy, and he rushes to comfort her with relief, while she points out her unexpected, capable savior, so Wang Han directs the authorities to the suspects, earning the grateful man's immediate and deep respect, as the father realizes this delivery guy is elite, and offers his personal card for future favors. Wang Han politely accepts the contact card, declining the persistent job offer with ease, while the father watches him leave with admiration, as our delivery guy heads back to his bike, eager to finish his shift and find Su Qi speeding through the city streets without a second thought, while a major corporate office deals with internal drama, where an arrogant executive arrives to offer unwanted help, claiming he can save the company from its crisis, but he gets shut down by a cold rejection. An arrogant executive corners Nanan with unwanted advances, but she firmly rejects his delusional, pushy behavior, leaving him in total denial about her marriage, just as Wang Han walks in with lunch, causing the executive to lash out in annoyance, while Wang Han calmly introduces himself as her husband, making the delivery guy feel surprisingly touched by her, and the intruder stands there completely stunned and defeated, so Wang Han points the guy toward the exit, while the rejected man struggles to accept his loss. boss. This rejected executive storms out in total frustration, while Wang Han brushes off the pathetic encounter, setting down their lunch for a quiet break as he clarifies their relationship status with a smirk, opening the containers to reveal a delicious meal, and teasingly threatens to withhold the food. But she playfully demands he feed her instead, enjoying the high-quality cooking he brought along, while she suggests opening a restaurant for his skills, though he remains picky about who gets to eat. Wang Han teases her about his cooking, but she quickly pivots to his missing uniform, so he jokingly blames his recent heroic rescue, which earns him a swift kick out the door, though he keeps pushing her buttons with a grin, leaving her to grumble while he heads out, yet she keeps a close eye on her phone, where a message from him pops up immediately, leading to a playful exchange about his role as he rides off amused by her stubbornness. Wang Han wonders why she avoids calling him husband, so he hops on his bike to clear his head, speeding through the empty streets to reach his destination. Arriving at the grand estate as evening settles in, where they walk inside only to face immediate scrutiny, but she stands her ground and introduces him proudly, leaving her aunt shocked by the unconventional marriage choice. Yet she remains firm about her decision to stay, until a family member intervenes to stop the bickering, welcoming them both inside for a peaceful dinner. Wang Han and Su Chi head upstairs to prepare, while her aunt complains about her choice of partner, smugly announcing that a wealthy suitor is on his way, as the family gathers to welcome the arrogant young Master Chin, who arrives expecting a special treat from the Su family, but his mood shifts the moment he spots Wang Han, leaving everyone confused as the tension at the table spikes, while the aunt insists that they all take their seats, though the seating arrangement clearly leaves Wang Han out, as the family makes it plain that he is unwelcome. This arrogant suitor demands Wang Han vacate his seat, while the head of the house coldly orders everyone seated. But Su Chi insists on giving up her own chair, causing her father to snap and demand total obedience. Yet Wang Han stares down the suitor with chilling intensity, making the guy panic and scramble to offer his spot, leaving the aunt completely baffled by this sudden shift. As the terrified suitor begs Wang Han to take the seat, while Wang Han calmly encourages Su Chi to eat instead, leaving the entire family stunned by the bizarre power dynamic. This aunt tries to butter up young Master Chin, while pushing Su Chi to drink some spiked wine, but the suitor realizes his reputation is on the line, and he immediately panics at the dangerous, reckless scheme. So Wang Han steps in to blow the whistle, exposing the aunt's pathetic attempt to sabotage the night, which leads Su Chi to douse the culprit in wine, leaving the humiliated man stunned by the sudden backlash as Wang Han prepares to settle the score personally and delivers a swift, well-deserved blow to his face. Wang Han stands tall after silencing the arrogant suitor, turning his back on the mess as he leaves, while the family rushes in to check on the troublemaker, and the pair drives off into the quiet night, where she finally questions his mysterious, intimidating influence. But he brushes it off with a casual, cocky remark, though she remains worried about their future social standing as he dismisses her concerns with a playful gesture, until a sudden, ominous notification interrupts their peaceful drive, revealing a chilling message from an unexpected, dangerous arrival. They arrive at a high-end, imposing residence, where Su Chi warns him about her family, stressing that her relatives have very strict rules. But Wang Han remains unfazed by the looming pressure, as they step inside to meet a mysterious woman who turns out to be Wang Han's older sister, radiating an intense cold aura from the couch, and she immediately demands that he drop to his knees, forcing him to comply while Su Chi watches nervously, before she coldly orders the wife to join him. Su Chi tries to defend her husband, but the sister remains cold and unimpressed, dismissing their excuses with a sharp glare, before she suddenly strikes Wang Han down, leaving him grounded while she asserts dominance, demanding he accept his punishment in silence as Su Chi desperately shields him from further, questioning the logic behind these harsh family rules, while the sister lists their rigid moral code, citing their marriage and pregnancy as unforgivable offenses. This sister scoffs at the idea of his partner, listing off a series of high-profile, rejected candidates, but Wang Han tries to de-escalate the tense situation, yet the sister remains convinced they are just performing, dismissing their relationship as a childish, elaborate act, while Wang Han calls her out for her arrogance, and he refuses to let his partner stay here, deciding to walk away before things get worse, though the sister aggressively tries to block his exit, as she reveals she has a secret mission instead. This sister reveals a mysterious token, claiming Wang Han as a secret betrothal, which he tries to dodge, but she insists, so he retreats to a quiet villa, while his friends gossip about his true nature, questioning how a simple worker has such connections, as they realize he might be hiding secrets, though one friend gets defensive about his character, leading to a playful interrogation between the two, ending in a lighthearted, teasing scuffle between them. This girls discuss tracking down a mysterious contact when a sudden knock interrupts their late-night chat, revealing Lin Jingpeng standing right at the door, who claims he can help them meet the tycoon, offering to bridge the gap for their project, while the ladies weigh his surprisingly convenient offer, as Wang Han stands alone, frustrated by the silence, hoping for a reply that just won't come until a notification finally lights up his screen, though it's just the girl he previously rescued. Wang Han stares at the token, wondering about his next move, when a sudden call brings news that his contact has passed, leaving him stunned by the tragic irony of the man's final act. While elsewhere, Wan Ying sits alone, feeling abandoned and ignored, questioning if she will ever cross paths with him again, but her father interrupts her thoughts, barging into the room, and despite her annoyance, he insists on discussing a family matter, demanding she attend a birthday banquet for the Zhou family heir, which she flatly refuses, disgusted by the heir's selfish reputation. Yet her father persists, pivoting the conversation to that delivery guy. Wan Ying sighs as she discards the unwanted clothes, while her father accepts the situation with resignation. As they arrive at the Grand Taishun Hotel, where Wang Han steps out to meet his crew, greeting his associates as they prepare for the event, and the group heads inside to get things moving. While they make their way into the lobby together as Wan Ying arrives and feels a strange, sudden chill, shaking off a sense of unease about the night, while the host welcomes everyone to his birthday banquet. Zhou Feiyu struts around, bragging about his supposed good fortune, while he flaunts an extravagant cake to impress his guests. But a reporter ruins the mood by asking about the man who died for him, which sends Feiyu into a blind, defensive rage, as he orders his security team to swarm the woman, and he personally lashes out, showing his true ugly colors, leaving the onlookers shocked by his blatant, violent display, while Wan Ying watches in disgust, blocked by his cold-hearted guards, as Feiyu continues his power trip by pinning the reporter down, and he threatens everyone present, completely losing his grip on reality. Zhou Feiyu's arrogance hits a sudden wall, as a swift strike sends him flying backward, leaving the spoiled heir sprawled on the floor, while Wang Han arrives with his crew to intervene, and Wan Ying watches in shock as her hero appears, though the downed heir desperately calls for his guards, who rush in with threats to silence the intruders. But Wang Han effortlessly clears the path ahead, sending the hired muscle tumbling across the room, as he systematically dismantles the opposition with ease. Wang Han delivers a swift, decisive blow, sending the arrogant heir reeling from the impact, while his crew stands firm over the fallen guards. And the room goes silent as he takes his seat, calmly explaining the heavy cost of his brother's sacrifice, showing zero patience for those who mock the dead, while the heir tries to reclaim his fading authority, calling in his backup to swarm the quiet intruders, as Wang Han offers one final, chilling ultimatum, but the heir chooses violence, sealing his own fate. Wang Han swings a heavy table with ease, slamming it directly into the arrogant heir's face, sending him crashing into the banquet display hard. While the heir struggles to catch his breath, Wang Han coldly declares his patience has run out, following up with a swift strike to the face, leaving the spoiled brat humbled on the floor, until the heir's father arrives with his own muscle, desperate for his dad to intervene and save him, as the father orders his guard to finish it. Wan Ying desperately begs the master to stop, but the old man lunges forward in anger, only for Wang Han to catch his strike effortlessly, leaving the master stunned by such raw power, as Wang Han signals his ally to step in, who unleashes a signature move to subdue the opponent, pinning the master with a single motion, while the elder watches his subordinate suffer defeat, realizing the technique belongs to a legendary family, so he quickly pivots to a much friendlier tone. Wang Han stands firm, rejecting the elder's pathetic bribe, as the man tries to dismiss a life with pocket change. But our guy isn't having any of that insulting offer, calling out the family's arrogance and their hollow sense of power, while the elder laughs, clearly underestimating who he is dealing with. So Wang Han decides to show him exactly what bankruptcy looks like, ordering his associate to pull the plug on their entire operation, as the elder mocks the move, still convinced it is all a joke, until a panicked subordinate rushes in with some truly terrible news, revealing the South China Lei clan is dismantling their empire. This mysterious Lei Xiaohua reveals his true identity, leaving the elder scrambling to offer desperate apologies, while the father tries to force his son to repent. But Wang Han remains unmoved by their pathetic pleas, as the elder attempts to leverage his military connections, prompting Wang Han to have his associate make a call, checking the status of the Zhou family's influence, while the call confirms their total lack of protection, and Wang Han prepares to drag the brat away, ignoring the heir's frantic, final cries for help. This elder finally gets a call from his uncle, who is absolutely livid about the recent mess, screaming that his career is over because of Feiyu, as the scene shifts to a quiet, somber cemetery, where they arrive at the grave of the fallen brother, and Wang Han forces the arrogant heir to kneel down, ignoring the brat's pathetic threats about the law, as Wang Han demands a proper apology for the deceased, pressing the heir's head into the dirt with his boot, finally giving his brother the respect he truly deserved. Nanan visits her grandmother's grave to pay respects, opening up about her secret pregnancy and family troubles, venting her frustrations over the father's deceptive behavior. Yet finding a glimmer of hope in her mysterious benefactor, she leaves behind some offerings for her grandmother, promising to return once her life settles down, as the heavy rain forces her to head back, where her brother insists on being treated with respect, but their tense car ride is suddenly interrupted when a luxury vehicle swerves to block their path. A sleek luxury car pulls up in the pouring rain, as a group of men steps out to greet the visitor, discussing the necessary arrangements for the late wife's daughter, while Nanan and her companion spot Wang Han from their vehicle, leaving Nanan stunned to see him at such a place. As a well-dressed man steps forward to assist Wang Han, prompting the women to wonder about this mysterious new associate, until they realize it is the influential Lei Xiaohua himself, and the group departs for Tito's home in the rain, leaving the women shocked by Wang Han's incredible connections. Nanan refuses to reach out to anyone, while her brother insists they just head home, and he confidently claims everything is under control, promising to set up a meeting with the big shot as they drive through the rain to their destination, where Wang Han and his crew arrive at the building, checking in with a local elder to find the right apartment. But the man seems confused by the name they mention, so Wang Han clarifies he is looking for Chen Qiang, and the elder points them toward the correct floor. This local elder explains that greedy relatives have seized the property, so Wang Han and his crew head inside to investigate the situation, where they find a young girl huddled in the hallway, and she confirms that her father is currently away from home, leaving the group shocked to learn she is Chen Qiang's daughter, as Wang Han gently asks why she is sitting outside, and she reveals that her own relatives have locked her out, which sparks immediate outrage at their cruel and shameless behavior, so Wang Han decides to handle the intruders with force, kicking the door wide open to interrupt their selfish feast. This greedy relatives are caught mid-meal, acting like they own the place, but Wang Han shuts down their entitlement, delivering a swift strike to the intruder, sending him flying across the dining room, while Wang Han calls in his muscle as his associates prepare to teach them manners, quickly subduing the bullies with ease, forcing the cowards to finally admit defeat, as Wang Han learns the young girl's name. Wang Han offers the young girl a new home, but his associate hilariously dodges the responsibility of parenting, leaving our guy feeling a bit caught off guard. Yet he ultimately accepts the role of her godfather, finding himself a father figure sooner than he expected. This next day brings a quiet morning routine, where Wang Han plays the part of a caring guardian. While checking his phone during a peaceful breakfast, he receives a cold message from his wife, realizing her stubborn mood is making things complicated. Wang Han prepares to drop the girl off, arriving at the prestigious school Lei arranged. He encourages her to focus on her studies, walking into the office to meet the principal, where they are introduced to a teacher named Xia, leaving Wang Han stunned by the familiar face, as she beams with excitement at their reunion, confirming their connection while asking about his child, and he proudly introduces the girl as his own, so the principal assigns her to Xia's class immediately. Wang Han entrusts the girl to teacher Xia, as they exchange final goodbyes before he departs, leaving him to head off for his busy day, while Xia gently asks the girl about her background, and learns the truth about her late father, so Wang Han takes a moment to catch his breath, until a surprise call from an old acquaintance arrives, catching him completely off guard with her sudden persistence as she threatens to track him down in Zhongning, despite his warnings about his wife's inevitable reaction. Wang Han gets an aggressive call from a stalker, but she cuts the line before he can respond, so he drops the girl off at school as planned. While deciding to warn his wife about the situation, he sends a quick text to keep things under control, then lights a cigarette to vent his mounting frustration. Realizing his delivery schedule is falling behind again, he rides his bike to a massive gated estate, wondering why such a fancy place ordered a delivery, and rings the doorbell to complete his latest job. Wang Han arrives at the luxury estate, only to find an old classmate answering, leaving him to awkwardly play off the encounter, while her friends wonder about the unexpected visitor, and Su Qi introduces him as a former peer. Though Sitong struggles to place his familiar face, so he humbly brushes off her lack of recognition, but another guy immediately starts acting suspicious, questioning how a classmate ended up in delivery, as he mocks Su Qi for associating with him. This guy tries to lecture Wang Han on social status, while tossing a tip like he's doing a huge favor, acting all superior while handing over the cash, clearly expecting Wang Han to just take the insult, but our guy just takes the money with a smile, until Wan Ying appears and recognizes her delivery man, shocked to see Wang Han standing right there, leaving the arrogant guy completely confused by their bond, as Wan Ying proudly declares Wang Han is her savior and invites him in, much to everyone's total disbelief. Wan Ying defends Wang Han against the group's insults, but he decides to leave before things get awkward, though Wan Ying insists on catching a ride with him, while the others offer their own luxury cars instead. Yet she ignores them to hop on his bike, leaving the remaining group feeling completely ignored and annoyed as they speed away from the estate together, leaving the stunned socialites behind in the dust, while Yuanbo tries to save face by inviting Su Qi inside, but she coldly rejects him to head to her own work. Wang Han speeds through the city streets, checking if his passenger is comfortable riding, while Wan Ying clings to him, feeling perfectly content, until a luxury car pulls up alongside them, where Su Qi demands Wan Ying switch to her vehicle, but Wang Han politely declines to avoid any drama, so Wan Ying offers a dinner date as thanks, though he deflects with his busy delivery schedule, leaving her behind as he rides off alone, feeling completely overwhelmed by these persistent social interactions. Wang Han returns home with the young girl, promising her a warm meal to end the day, yet he immediately notices unexpected shoes in the hallway, sensing that his quiet evening is about to change, as he finds Zhang Tong waiting inside for him, causing him to panic while shielding the girl's eyes. While Zhang Tong curiously questions the identity of his guest, so he bluntly introduces her as his adopted daughter. But Zhang Tong playfully leans in to tease the child, leaving a completely flustered Wang Han totally speechless. Wang Han tries to keep his cool, but Zhang Tong immediately claims parental authority, forcing him to send the girl away, as she retreats to her room in confusion, leaving him to face his wife's sudden outburst, while he desperately tries to maintain some distance. But she responds with a swift, aggressive kick, leaving him flustered and demanding she get dressed. Yet she remains completely unbothered by his protests, as he tosses her a jacket to cover up. Jiang Tong keeps pushing her luck with taunts, while Wang Han just wants her to leave, but she pivots to business to keep him hooked, though he is just relieved she isn't hunting Su Qi, so he tries to distract her with dinner plans. Yet she mocks his sudden shift into parental mode, closing the distance between them with a bold move, as she questions his double standards regarding their relationship, until the young girl interrupts them for a meal, leaving Wang Han scrambling to hide the awkward scene. Wang Han finally manages to steer Jiang Tong toward dinner, leading the group out to ensure the young girl gets fed, while Jiang Tong remains focused on her persistent pursuit of him as they head into the heart of the city for their meal, arriving at a high-end restaurant where they are treated like VIPs, where Jiang Tong insists the girl call her godmother instead of auntie, settling into a private room to escape the public eye. Though Wang Han keeps trying to shut down her flirtatious remarks, until he is interrupted by a sudden, unexpected business meeting, as he shifts gears to discuss a sensitive investigation with Lei. Lei and his associate plot to sabotage Su Qi, scheming to ruin her reputation through a smear campaign, while they celebrate their supposedly brilliant and underhanded plan, until Lei spots a familiar face in the distance, realizing Wang Han is closer than he ever expected, so he stalks the private room to confirm his suspicions. Watching as the group enjoys a peaceful family dinner, clearly relishing the chance to cause some serious trouble, while the trio exits the restaurant after their meal, leaving Lei to sneak into the house to investigate. Wang Han guides the girl home while reminding her of homework, only to be caught off guard by an unexpected visitor, as the tension between the two women starts to spike, and Jiang Tong steps forward to introduce herself to Su Qi, forcing a sweating Wang Han to invent a cover story, claiming she is just a distant relative passing through town. While the atmosphere grows increasingly awkward for everyone involved, so he desperately tries to usher his guest out the door. But she calls his bluff by questioning his relationship status, leaving him no choice but to let her inside for dinner. Wang Han feels the tension rising between the two women, so he quickly sends the girl away to focus on cooking, while Jiang Tong probes Su Qi about his culinary skills, and Su Qi confirms he has cooked for her before, prompting Jiang Tong to demand a meal for herself too, as she insists she is hungry despite just eating, leaving Wang Han to desperately try and keep things normal, while Su Qi offers her water to cool the mood. But Jiang Tong turns the interaction into a subtle power play, as she continues to tease Wang Han while waiting for food. Wang Han serves up a fresh bowl of noodles, while Su Qi sits down to enjoy the meal, but Jiang Tong interrupts, demanding a share for herself, diving into the bowl with zero hesitation or shame, as she critiques his cooking while making bold claims, forcing Wang Han to keep cooking just to keep peace, while the young girl finishes her homework in the background, and Jiang Tong tries to bond with the child, pushing the girl to address her as mom instead, but the kid sticks to her guns with a polite refusal. Wang Han tells Jiang Tong to stop pressuring the girl, but she ignores him and calls the child over, boldly demanding that the girl call her mom, leaving the poor kid completely stunned and speechless, while Wang Han watches the awkward interaction with concern. Yet the girl unexpectedly complies to keep the peace, as Jiang Tong leads her away to the bedroom, leaving Wang Han to serve her a fresh meal, where she casually suggests they share the same bed, and mocks him for sleeping separately despite being married. Wang Han tries to regain control of his home, ordering Jiang Tong to finally call it a night, while she watches him with a mix of suspicion and intrigue, as the sun rises on a brand new, chaotic day, and Wang Han starts his morning with an intense workout, only to be interrupted by Jiang Tong's sudden appearance, where she coldly rejects his offer of a home-cooked breakfast, insisting on heading to work despite his attempts to help, while he tries to maintain his distance by declining her ride, leaving him to reflect on her fiery personality all alone. Su Qi receives news of a coordinated smear campaign, while her project faces an abrupt, suspicious shutdown as scandalous photos of her and Wang Han surface, leaving her furious as she hunts for the culprit, while Jiang Tong taunts her about the brewing trouble, showing Wang Han the viral post to prove it, and he realizes someone is targeting them for destruction, so he calls in backup to handle the situation, as they arrive at a hotel to confront the source, finding the mastermind relaxing while they prepare to strike. This mastermind celebrates his supposed victory, pushing his partner to get comfortable, but a sudden kick at the door interrupts them, revealing Boss Wen and his crew standing there, leaving the man completely stunned by the intrusion, as Wen demands he get dressed to face someone, shouting down the man's protests with pure authority, while the group drags their captive into the room, and the mastermind realizes he is finally cornered, as Wang Han steps forward to confront his enemy. Wang Han demands answers from the smug mastermind, grabbing a heavy vase with a menacing grip and smashing it directly into the guy's face, leaving the villain stunned by the sudden violence, before Wang Han follows up with a brutal strike, sending the man sprawling across the floor instantly, then hauling him up by his collar in anger, as the guy spits insults about his own sister, which only fuels Wang Han's righteous, cold fury, and he delivers one final, crushing blow to finish. This desperate mastermind tries to bribe Boss Wen, but gets a swift physical reality check instead, as Wang Han calmly decides to handle the smear campaign, forcing the coward to start cleaning up his mess, while the guy keeps begging for help in vain, getting shut down hard by another sharp correction, until he finally agrees to retract all the lies, leaving Wang Han to watch the pathetic display unfold. As the corporate headquarters looms over the city streets, where Su Qi faces a ridiculous demand for payment. Su Qi faces harsh accusations from her elders, but she stands firm against their baseless claims, while they gloat about bringing in outside pressure, and she calls out their obvious, desperate frame-up as they finally drop the act to demand power, revealing their true colors in a blatant power grab. Yet Su Qi refuses to back down or surrender, while the tension in the room reaches a breaking point, and the elder continues to lecture her with arrogance, until a sudden arrival shifts the entire dynamic. President Liu makes a surprise entrance, while the elders try to play the victim, demanding Su Qi hand over her project immediately. But her assistant arrives with a game-changing update, revealing that the smear campaign has been neutralized, leaving the greedy elders stunned by the news, as President Liu's assistant shuts down their power grab and coldly dismisses their pathetic attempts at negotiation, leaving Su Qi desperate to understand the situation, so she asks to meet the man behind it all. This assistant admits she cannot read the president, so she takes her leave while the elders depart, and Su Qi fires back at their bitter, parting insults, wondering who actually cleared her name behind the scenes as she checks her phone to find viral news updates, showing the delivery center where Wang Han works, where he arrives on his bike to start the day, while his coworkers gather around to chat and smoke, and one guy mentions the scandalous news about him, before dropping the bombshell that he has been fired. Wang Han reacts with disbelief to the sudden news, as his station manager approaches to confirm the firing, explaining that the recent scandal made him a liability, but Wang Han pushes back, questioning why the rumors persist. Yet the manager insists his hands are tied by corporate, offering some unsolicited life advice about relying on himself, and handing over a contact card for a security job, while his coworkers chime in with their own blunt opinions, as Wang Han tries to brush off the awkward situation, until a mysterious visitor arrives looking specifically for him. Teacher Xia suddenly appears at the delivery station, catching Wang Han and his coworkers completely off guard, as she explains she tracked him down after failing to reach him, leaving our guy wondering exactly what she wants with him, while she shyly mentions her father is requesting a meeting, and Wang Han agrees to leave since his shift just ended, leaving his coworkers to gossip about his mysterious romantic prospects, while the manager kicks them back to work in a hurry, as a sleek luxury car pulls up to the curb, making the onlookers wonder why so many fancy vehicles keep appearing. A stylish woman arrives, demanding to know Wang Han's location, leaving his coworkers completely stunned by her striking appearance, as she casually introduces herself as his wife, causing the guys to lose their minds over his luck, while they point her toward the direction he just left, and she notes with annoyance that he is moving fast, as Wang Han rides his bike toward a specific destination, arriving at the grand entrance of the White Tiger Hall, where he follows his guide inside to meet her father, and finally comes face-to-face with the waiting master. Wan Ying introduces Wang Han to her senior brother Kang, but Kang immediately doubts the new instructor's martial credentials, mocking Wang Han's stature with some serious misplaced arrogance, while Wan Ying steps in to defend her guest's honor, and Kang tries to pivot to a date, only to be rejected, as Wan Ying firmly brushes him aside to escort Wang Han, leaving a fuming Kong behind as they head upstairs, their hands locked in a display of genuine connection, while Kang watches them go, seething with pure, petty jealousy, and they finally reach the master to begin the meeting. Master Xia greets Wang Han with surprising warmth, inviting him to sit as they exchange pleasantries, where a firm handshake reveals Wang Han's hidden strength, leaving the master impressed by his internal energy as he introduces Wang Han to his associate, Liu, who immediately offers him a role as an instructor, though Wang Han candidly admits he needs the stability, prompting Liu to sweeten the deal with a salary, and Wang Han wastes no time accepting the offer, sealing their new partnership with a round of laughter. Wan Ying leads Wang Han through the training grounds, gathering the students to announce their new instructor, where Wang Han introduces himself with humble, polite confidence, but a skeptical student immediately challenges his martial credentials, questioning if he actually knows any real techniques. So Wang Han lists off a massive variety of styles, causing the student to mock his supposedly inflated ego, yet Wang Han remains unfazed by the growing hostility, while Wan Ying steps in to defend her guest's reputation, as the aggressive student demands a spar to prove him. Wang Han calmly accepts the student's challenge, while the arrogant challenger promises a heavy strike, and Wang Han coolly prepares to return the favor, as the student proposes a bet involving Wan Ying, though Wang Han leaves the final decision to her, while the overconfident student boasts about his guaranteed victory, and Wan Ying counters by betting the concert tickets instead, as the master warns them to keep things controlled, while the crowd clears a path for the showdown, and the challenger prepares to unleash his full power. This challenger lunges forward with aggressive intent, but Wang Han counters with a swift, precise strike, sending his opponent reeling back from the impact, as he follows up with a display of total dominance, leaving the arrogant student crashing hard against the floor. While Wang Han calmly critiques his lack of technique, and Wan Ying cheers as the challenger struggles to recover, while the masters note Wang Han held back significantly, leaving the defeated student seething with bitter, petty resentment until a sudden, unexpected attack forces Wang Han to react. Kang suddenly lunges lunges at Wang Han from behind, but his desperate ambush attempt completely misses the mark. While Wan Ying and her father rightfully call out his cowardice, yet the arrogant challenger doubles down on his pathetic excuses, declaring that he will take everything in this fight as he launches another aggressive strike toward his target, only for Wang Han to effortlessly dodge the blow, leaving Kang frustrated as he continues to swing wildly, while Wang Han remains calm and critiques his slow form, and prepares to teach the arrogant student a real lesson. Kang lunges forward with a desperate, aggressive strike, but Wang Han effortlessly evades every single move, calmly taunting his opponent for being far too slow, while Kang loses his cool and goes for a lethal blow, shocking the onlookers as the master realizes the danger, and Wan Ying watches in horror as the situation escalates, yet Wang Han remains composed while dodging the reckless assault, clearly unimpressed by the lack of actual technique displayed, before delivering a single decisive counter that ends the fight, leaving the entire room stunned by his overwhelming quiet power. Wan Ying is clearly impressed by Wang Han's display, while the masters agree he is a rare talent, and Wang Han apologizes for the chaos he caused, though he keeps his background a total mystery as he checks his phone to find a message, realizing Su Qi is reaching out to him again, where she tries to offer him a new job, but he shuts her down with his new contract, leaving her speechless after he confirms his success, yet he wonders who she is meeting later tonight. Wang Han brushes off Wan Ying's questions about his meeting, though he secretly worries she might be getting scammed, so he demands his contact track her location immediately, growing increasingly agitated as he waits for the news, only to learn she is currently alone with a man who is clearly up to no good with her drink, causing Wang Han to lose his cool entirely as he revs his bike and speeds toward the hotel, tearing through the city streets with pure, focused rage, determined to reach the building before anything bad happens. Su Qi collapses as the drugged water takes effect, while the creep gloats over his pathetic little victory, clearly losing his mind with some truly disturbing fantasies, as he prepares to record her for future blackmail, laughing at the thought of ruining her reputation forever. But his fun ends when Wang Han kicks the door, storming into the room with pure, unadulterated fury, leaving the coward absolutely stunned by his sudden arrival. As Wang Han lunges forward to settle the score, ready to make the creep pay for his actions, Wang Han lands a clean strike on the creep, who is left completely stunned by the sudden retaliation. But the attacker tries to swing back in desperation, only to be countered by another swift, precise movement, sending the coward sprawling across the floor in defeat, where he tries to bribe his way out with threats. Yet Wang Han is clearly not impressed by his status, delivering a firm reminder that his arrogance has consequences, while the bully continues to beg for mercy and cash, as Wang Han keeps him pinned down for his actions. Wang Han rushes to Su Qi's side, delivering a swift kick to the creep as he quickly helps her recover from the ordeal, while the coward desperately calls his grandfather for help, crying out in fear as he cowers on the floor. But Wang Han shuts him up with another firm strike, keeping the pathetic bully pinned down in the room, until an elderly man arrives to address the situation, and Wang Han coolly questions if this is his grandson, while the elder apologizes profusely for the young man's behavior. This spoiled grandson desperately begs his grandfather for support, but the elder responds with a swift strike of his cane, silencing the brat with another blow for his shameful behavior, then turns to Wang Han to offer him full control, leaving the terrified bully completely stunned by the sudden betrayal, as Wang Han coldly reminds the elder of the sect's laws, which demand a permanent price for the young man's actions, forcing the grandfather to confront the disgrace brought upon his family, while he prepares to carry out the grim sentence himself, and the room echoes with the sound of instant regret. Su Qi wakes up disoriented and confused, while her friend rushes in to check on her, asking if the creep caused her any real harm, as they decide to leave the hotel room immediately. But a mysterious bead left on the bed catches their eye, which they realize must belong to her mysterious savior, confirming that Wang Han was definitely the one who intervened, so they head out to find him and settle the score. While Wang Han is already busy handling the aftermath, rushing off to deal with the grandfather's inevitable reaction. Wang Han realizes his precious bead is missing, while the battered grandson reports back to his family, spinning wild lies about Wang Han's secret criminal connections, which the arrogant Master Qin dismisses with total disdain, as they plot to eliminate Su Qi for control, leaving the bruised grandson stunned by their ruthless ambition, while they decide that both targets must be removed, confirming their twisted plan to strike without any delay, as the petty villain eagerly prepares for his revenge, while the unsuspecting pair walks right into their trap. Wang Han settles into a quiet domestic routine, while his companion kindly assists the child with studies, though he can't stop worrying about Su's well-being, checking his messages to see if she needs anything, but he gets a sudden unexpected call from Sula, who claims he wants to bury the hatchet over dinner, and Wang Han agrees to the meeting despite his doubts, wondering what kind of scheme the guy is cooking up. Yet he is immediately blindsided by a surprise attack, as an officer lunges at him with a baseless accusation. This officer pins the suspect down firmly, while Wang Han watches the scene with confusion, as the officer calls for backup to secure suspects, and Wang Han tries to explain his heroic intentions. But the officer remains skeptical of his claims, insisting he head to the station for questioning, so she snaps the handcuffs onto his wrists, confident that justice will sort out the truth. As they arrive at the station under the moonlight, and Wang Han casually asks for a drink. This officer scolds Wang Han for acting too comfortable, while her chief praises her for catching the criminals, and she modestly downplays her role in the arrest, claiming she arrived to find the suspects already subdued, though Wang Han tries to interject and claim credit. This chief interrupts to ask about his mysterious companion, but the officer dismisses him as just a random detainee, even as Wang Han insists they check the security footage, which reveals his face clearly as the actual hero, leaving the officers stunned and rushing to uncuff him. Wang Han finally gets those annoying handcuffs removed, but he can't resist throwing one last insult, leaving the officer absolutely fuming at his audacity, though he ignores her to rush out immediately, realizing he is running late for his family duties. So he jumps into a taxi to speed away, offering a generous tip to encourage some reckless driving, which convinces the driver to floor the gas pedal, turning the cab into a blur on the streets, only to arrive at a massive unexpected building fire. Wang Han arrives to find a massive blaze, where firefighters are already to contain the inferno, and he learns the terrifying truth that Suchi is trapped, sending him into a state of pure, focused panic as he confirms she is definitely still inside the villa, ignoring all warnings as he charges straight into the flames, leaving the onlookers stunned by his reckless, heroic decision, while the emergency crew calls for urgent backup support, and the crowd watches in horror as he disappears inside. But then Suchi suddenly appears, safe and sound. Suchi's companion realizes someone just charged inside, leaving Suchi stunned by the sudden revelation, as the reality of Wang Han's sacrifice hits her, and she screams his name while firefighters hold her back, fearing the worst as the inferno rages uncontrollably, while the onlookers offer their grim condolences, as the water hoses struggle against the massive blaze. But suddenly a silhouette emerges from the smoke, and Wang Han leaps out with a survivor in tow, looking singed but alive after his daring rescue. Suchi rushes toward Wang Han in relief, pulling him into a desperate, tearful embrace, while she scolds him for his reckless, life-threatening stunt, but he just smiles, insisting he is completely fine, brushing off her worries with a light-hearted, playful attitude, even as bystanders urge him to get medical attention, while the firefighters continue battling the mysterious raging blaze, and Wang Han immediately suspects Sule's foul play, deciding to get Suchi to safety without delay as they drive away from the scene under the night sky. Wang Han explains the dinner invitation was a trap, while Suchi checks her phone for security footage, confirming that Sule was indeed behind the arson, so they decide to finish their meal before seeking justice, though Suchi is clearly fuming over the blatant betrayal, and Wang Han heads out to confront their enemies directly. But he is nearly run over by a reckless driver who turns out to be a familiar face behind the wheel, leaving Officer Yang completely shocked to see him again as Wang Han greets her with his usual sarcastic charm. Wang Han casually claims he works at the facility, while Officer Yang reveals she is actually an apprentice there, and the local students greet him with surprising formal respect, leaving the officer stunned that he is an instructor, as she demands to know if he is truly qualified. But he just walks away, ignoring her aggressive questioning, while she threatens him to keep his eyes to himself, and she lunges forward to attack him in frustration, so he offers a handicap to end this nonsense, but she only gets angrier at his arrogant, playful challenge. Wang Han effortlessly deflects her aggressive high kick, while she resets her stance for another round, charging forward with renewed speed and focused intensity, but he ducks under her strike with total ease, mocking her skills and questioning her professional credentials, which only pushes the officer to lash out, throwing a powerful kick that slices through the air. Yet he dodges again while warning her to stop, as she refuses to back down from the challenge, finally landing a solid strike right on his chin. Wang Han catches her leg mid-air, firmly gripping her wrist to stop her, pulling her into a close, defensive hold, while she cries out, calling him a pervert, struggling to break free from his iron grasp as he effortlessly pins her arms behind her, asking if she is finally ready to concede, and she admits her skills were simply inferior, so he jokingly suggests she follow through on their bet, while she takes his challenge way too seriously. This officer turns up the heat, but Wang Han immediately plays the married card, and he makes a swift exit up the stairs, leaving her annoyed by his sudden lack of nerve, while he wanders into a room with a piano, where he finds others praising a musical performance, so he walks in and gets spotted by the group, though a rival immediately questions his taste in music, yet Wang Han stays cool and shares his preference, prompting the pianist to challenge him to play. Despite the rivals mocking, Wang Han steps up, deciding to show them how it is done, as his beautiful melody leaves everyone completely spellbound, forcing the critic to admit he is actually talented, while his fingers dance across the keys with ease, and he offers some humble, professional feedback to teacher Xu Xia, though the rival remains bitter about his sudden expertise, just as a woman enters the room to investigate, clearly impressed by the high quality of the performance, so Wang Han takes the hint and makes his exit. This group realizes Wang Han was the mystery pianist, leaving teacher Ren stunned by the unexpected revelation as she confronts him about his secret academic background, while the others struggle to process his hidden status. And Ren confirms their past connection at music school. But Wang Han brushes it off to focus on dinner, leaving the others to learn about his legendary reputation, which leaves his rival completely shaken by the truth, as Ren questions why she even needs another mentor, leaving Wang Ying speechless as the reality finally sinks in. Wang Han enjoys a quiet meal with his partner, while discussing his recent stint at the martial arts hall, but a sudden phone call interrupts their peaceful afternoon, and the old man on the line starts lecturing him, demanding he stop causing trouble at the training facility, while insisting he find a much calmer line of work, before assigning him a new mission to recover a stolen artifact, warning him that the rival organization is full of dangerous lunatics, and tasking him with finding a mysterious, powerful bead. So Wang Han heads out to handle the new assignment. Su Qi bids Wang Han a cautious farewell as he arrives at the high-end residential complex, introducing himself to the manager to get settled, but the local security guards immediately recognize his face, questioning if he is the man linked to Su Qi, while they crowd around him dying for the gossip, and Wang Han remains dismissive of their prying questions, though they try to bribe him with a smoke, so he finally spills the beans about his marriage, leaving the guards baffled by his humble security job. This guards press Wang Han about his connection to Su Qi, but he acts surprised to hear she bought a place nearby, while they tease him about his supposed marriage and secret wealth, until a flashy red car pulls up, catching everyone's attention, and Wang Han tries to dodge the spotlight as the guards watch, but Su Qi steps out, calling him out in front of the crowd, so he casually claims he quit his gym job to join her, leaving the onlookers stunned as they walk off together, while Wang Han leaves the nosy guards with a final cheeky gesture, as Su Qi demands to know why he kept his distance for so long. Su Qi invites Wang Han to stay, but he questions her sudden change in tone, so she offers him a high-paying driver job, leaving him to wonder if he is being kept as they arrive at a massive corporate building, where he drops her off at the main entrance, and she gives him free reign of the place, while the staff greets her with formal, nervous respect, leaving the onlookers confused by their strange dynamic, as Su Qi faces internal pressure regarding staff layoffs. Lily firmly rejects the inappropriate offer, but the sleazy CEO tries to leverage her family's medical debt, pressing his luck despite her clear and vocal refusal, while he continues to harass her with predatory demands, until Wang Han wanders in, completely unimpressed by the scene, calling out the harassment with his signature casual sarcasm, as the CEO turns aggressive, ignoring her cries for help, and tries to silence her by force in the office. So Wang Han steps in to interrupt the pathetic display, leaving the entitled boss absolutely livid at the sudden interference. Wang Han stands his ground against the aggressive CEO, delivering a swift, decisive kick to put him down, leaving the bully sprawling on the office floor, while he calls out the man for his pathetic behavior. But the CEO tries to play the victim card, shifting the blame onto Lily with wild, baseless accusations, threatening to call the authorities to save his reputation. Yet Wang Han reveals he has recorded the entire incident, swatting away the desperate man's attempt to grab the phone, and leaving him defeated on the ground with his secrets exposed. Lily begs Wang Han to stop, fearing further trouble, but he keeps the recording as insurance against the CEO, later running into old classmates while out and about, where he gets introduced to a familiar face named Song Qian, who immediately recalls his legendary reputation for causing school trouble, though Wang Han remains totally unfazed by her teasing, and he plays off his fancy suit as mere work attire, claiming he is involved in high-end biomobile engineering projects, before casually revealing he is actually just a private driver, leaving his old classmate struggling to hide her amusement. Song Qian suggests Wang Han attend a wedding, so he agrees to meet up the next day, while his buddy begs for a luxury car upgrade, hoping to impress the guests with a fancy ride, and Wang Han promises to handle the request easily before heading home to wrap up his busy day, where he finds Su Qi waiting for him inside, teasing him about his habit of showering upon arrival, so he asks to borrow her car for the event, but she playfully challenges his request with a smirk. Wang Han shuts down the advances, but the woman remains persistent and bold, trying to pull him into her schemes, while he remains completely unmoved by her threats, and he shuts her down with a sharp remark as she tries to explain away her situation, though Wang Han decides to handle things his way, calling up his contact to secure a luxury ride. While he wanders the halls feeling rather bored, until he encounters a child causing a scene. Wang Han finds a random kid causing chaos, and he steps in to stop the brat's aggression, but the unruly child tries to lash out at him, so Wang Han swiftly puts the kid in his place, which brings the mother running in to defend her son, as she immediately starts screaming at him for the intervention, but Wang Han remains calm while mocking her poor parenting, and she stoops to personal insults about his family background, just as the little girl's mother arrives to check on her, leaving the two mothers to clash over the escalating drama. This entitled mother demands an apology for her brat, while Lily tries to de-escalate the situation with apologies, but Wang Han steps up to confront the hostile manager, who threatens to get him fired for his insolence, as Lily panics and urges him to just walk away. Yet he remains completely unbothered by her empty threats, despite Lily worrying that he has ruined his career, while the manager storms off to complain to Su Qi, and Wang Han follows right behind to tell his side, as the manager continues to paint him as a thug. Su Qi dismisses her staff to handle the office drama, but she remains visibly stressed by the ongoing situation. While Wang Han casually strolls into her private workspace, noticing her discomfort and the strain of her high heels, so he insists on helping her find some relief, leaving Su-Chi feeling a mix of complex emotions as he gently tends to her swollen feet, ignoring her polite protests to ensure she stays comfortable, and she finds herself unexpectedly touched by his care until an assistant accidentally interrupts their intimate moment. This assistant bursts in, interrupting the quiet moment, reporting that the French experts are stuck waiting because their translator is missing and the technical terms fail. So Wang Han casually offers to step in and help, claiming he picked up the language while living abroad. Though Su-Chi remains skeptical about his sudden hidden talent, but he insists he can handle the high-stakes meeting, leading the group toward the conference room with confidence, where they finally greet the waiting French delegation, and Wang Han surprises everyone with his fluent French greeting. Wang Han seamlessly bridges the language gap, leaving Su-Chi stunned by his hidden competence, as the meeting expands to include remote experts, introducing a Japanese representative into the high-stakes mix, which catches the staff completely off guard. Yet Wang Han remains calm while interpreting the details, earning him shocked praise for his sudden fluency, as he professionally handles the project overview, making Su-Chi view her driver in a whole new light, until the successful meeting concludes with everyone satisfied. Lily expresses her sincere gratitude for his help, but Wang Han brushes it off with casual charm, while she playfully teases him about wanting a reward, though she quickly reminds him to keep things professional, so he asks for time off to attend a wedding, which she approves before sending him back to work. Yet he tries to pivot to dinner plans instead, leaving her frustrated by his complete lack of romantic intuition, as he walks away and runs into his buddy, who immediately starts gushing over his sharp, stylish appearance. Wang Han hands his buddy a luxury watch, while his friend questions if it is actually fake, but he insists on keeping up appearances for the wedding, and they are both stunned by the arrival of a Rolls-Royce, leaving his friends sweating over the cost of such luxury. Yet Wang Han remains cool as he opens the door, while his buddy frets about his nerves in the guest list, as they finally pull up to the grand wedding venue, where they spot a portrait that leaves them both shocked, realizing the bride is marrying someone much older than expected. Wang Han arrives, only to be greeted by a familiar face, as Songshan teases him about his surprisingly sharp new look, urging him to hurry inside before the other classmates get impatient. So they head toward the venue where the reunion is already underway, where they spot their old teacher, Fang, standing near the entrance, who immediately starts reminiscing about the troublemakers from their school days, catching the attention of the group as he recalls those specific names, while Songshan leads the way to formally greet their former mentor, and the teacher graciously offers them a seat at his table, leaving everyone surprised as the old teacher finally recognizes his former students. This teacher greets his former students warmly, asking about their current career paths. So Wang Han reveals he is currently a driver, which prompts the teacher to express his disappointment, as the classmates start looking down on his position, sighing at the perceived lack of success, while others try to steer the conversation elsewhere, mentioning that a wealthy classmate is still arriving, and the teacher continues to brag about his successful pupils, while Wang Han just chuckles at their shallow judgment. Juojua finally arrives at the reunion table, greeting Professor Fang while bragging about her success, and she brings up Wang Han with mocking intent, laughing off the idea that he is a CEO, while another classmate insists he is just a driver, as Juojing tries to silence the growing gossip, but Juojua continues to belittle Wang Han's status, until Wang Han finally confronts her with a cold glare, asking if she is finished with her pathetic performance, and he prepares to shut down her arrogance once more. A classmate stands up to propose a toast, and the whole group raises their glasses in unison, but Han Da-chun suddenly downs his drink in a panic, only to have a violent coughing fit mid-sip, spraying red wine all over Juojing's expensive dress, causing her to shriek in disgust at his clumsiness, while he stares in horror at the price tag she mentions as he desperately tries to offer a cleaning solution, but the others mock his low salary in comparison, so Wang Han steps in to settle the debt immediately. Wang Han mocks their skepticism by claiming his monthly salary, and proves his point when a massive deposit hits his phone, leaving the crowd stunned while the arrogant woman keeps threatening him. But the tension shifts when her husband finally joins the table, only to reveal he accidentally damaged a car in the lot, and the group realizes the victim is actually Wang Han's vehicle, as Wang Han calmly confirms that it is indeed his car, while the couple tries to dismiss the damage as a minor scratch, until they learn the repair bill is a staggering $700,000, and Wang Han drops the bomb that it is a Rolls-Royce. This crowd questions if Wang Han really owns the Rolls-Royce, so he calmly places the car keys on the table, while the arrogant couple insists the luxury vehicle must be rented, mocking his status and demanding a background check on the owner, as they smugly prepare to expose his supposed lies to everyone, while the teacher scolds the group for their petty, shallow behavior. But the woman remains determined to prove Wang Han is faking, dialing the number provided for the car owner with malicious intent, and suddenly, a phone starts ringing right at their own table as Wang Han's device lights up, silencing the entire room. This room goes silent as Wang Han's phone rings, confirming he is indeed the owner of the vehicle, leaving the arrogant woman in a state of total shock, while her husband tries to downplay the massive repair bill, but Wang Han drops his disguise to reveal his true status, causing causing the entire table to freeze in absolute disbelief. As the bride and groom finally approach the reunion group and the guests toast to the couple's big day, though the bride looks confused by the new arrivals until she recognizes Wang Han and asks about his career. This bride dismisses Wang Han as just a driver, while a new guest arrives and greets the groom, causing the table to whisper about his dangerous reputation. As the newcomer drunkenly mocks the groom's choice of bride, and the situation spirals as he gets physically aggressive, making lewd comments that leave the groom visibly shaken, until Wang Han finally stands up to intervene, telling the thug to back off and show some respect, while the groom tries to apologize for the sudden outburst, but the thug freezes in terror the moment he sees Wang Han. This newcomer introduces his associate to the group, leaving the older teacher looking completely baffled, while the groom awkwardly greets the imposing visitor, who brushes off the tension with a relaxed smile. As the groom tries to smooth things over with apologies, while the bride is stunned to learn of Wang Han's status, and the teacher starts bragging about his own foresight, while Wang Han remains composed despite the sudden shift, as the teacher laughs off any lingering awkwardness and proposes a toast to celebrate the reunion. This group awkwardly toasts to Wang Han, while he remains calm despite their sudden shift, and the teacher laughs off the previous tension, urging everyone to move past the petty drama, as the classmates continue fawning over his status, until Wang Han decides to head out early, stepping outside as his luxury ride pulls up, while his buddy tries to keep the party going, begging him to let the repair costs slide. But Wang Han refuses to budge on the debt. Wang Han drags a drunken Dachun toward the car, while his friend lets out a loud, unrefined burp, so he ensures his associate gets safely inside the vehicle, then receives a sudden update about a secret trade, prompting him to head straight for the Shenghao nightclub, where he arrives to investigate the mysterious Brotherhood Alliance, scouting the scene to identify the key players involved, and he walks past the entrance with a focused gaze, as he reviews the intel on a target named Little Master, before stepping into the chaotic energy of the club. Wang Han takes in the club's wild atmosphere, ordering a drink while observing the chaotic crowd, soaking in the energetic vibes of the dance floor, and he settles in with his martini in hand, only to be startled by a sudden unwanted approach, realizing with shock that it is an old acquaintance who seems just as surprised to run into him. But she immediately labels him a creep for being there, questioning his presence while he retorts with dry sarcasm, as she continues to berate him for his attire. Wang Han receives a notification that the trade begins, brushing off his acquaintance to focus on the mission as he approaches the guarded entrance of the VIP area, lighting a cigarette while sizing up the security detail, where the guards demand a digital scan for entry. But Wang Han mocks their tech-savvy approach with a smirk, flicking a small object to catch them off guard, and landing a swift, precise strike against the first guard, following up with a powerful blow to the second, as he effortlessly clears the path to the private room. Wang Han realizes diplomacy is off the table as he steps into the room full of thugs, where the guards immediately pull their weapons on him, but he calmly warns them that their meeting ends, while the henchmen prepare to take him down hard, and the boss orders his men to attack him, causing the security team to rush forward in unison. Yet Wang Han strikes first with a precise motion, landing a swift blow that sends them reeling back, leaving the boss stunned as his defenses crumble instantly. This guard tries to identify our guy, but Wang Han drops his name with authority, forcing the room to acknowledge his high status. Yet one hothead refuses to back down, so Wang Han shuts him down with speed, disarming the threat before he can even blink, proving that talking back carries a heavy cost, as he sits down to demand the goods, making it clear he only wants the prize, while questioning if they have any backup left. This thugs try to intimidate Wang Han with weapons, but he just smokes, daring them to take a shot, and they actually pull the trigger in a desperate move, missing him entirely as he remains completely unfazed, while the leader warns him about the danger of his prize. Yet Wang Han simply demands the artifact he came for, causing the leader to hesitate while his men look nervous, so Wang Han forces the issue with a swift, decisive strike, making them scramble to hand over the valuable Buddha head, and he finally secures the item, ready to make his exit. Wang Han walks away with the prize, leaving the defeated group to their own devices, as the remaining thugs watch him leave in awe, while the boss frantically searches for his missing men, realizing with dread that they have all vanished. So he warns his associate about the 10 elders, leaving the man visibly shaken by the dangerous name, as they discuss the fallout of the recent confrontation, while the boss tries to maintain a shred of dignity, but Wang Han simply exits the club with his mission accomplished. Wang Han finds a girl in a compromising spot, questioning her decision to attempt such a dangerous mission as he decides to step in and handle things himself, walking down the hallway toward the source of the noise, where he notes the club's surprisingly upbeat, loud atmosphere, stumbling upon a room full of rowdy, uninvited guests, and he realizes the situation is far more chaotic, finding the girl trapped and clearly in distress, which prompts an immediate, aggressive response from the thugs, but Wang Han stands his ground to face them. Wang Han wastes no time clearing the room, shoving aside the thugs who dare to interfere, and landing a clean strike on the loudest troublemaker, who tries to flex his status with empty threats but gets shut down by a swift, decisive kick, leaving Wang Han to check on the distressed girl, who is clearly suffering from the effects of the room, so he stays focused on his goal despite this distraction, offering her some water to help her cool down, before escorting her out of this chaotic, messy situation. Wang Han keeps his cool while cooling her down, helping the disoriented girl get back on her feet, though he makes sure to keep his distance professionally, as she finally starts to shake off the haze, leaving him to wait patiently while she recovers, until she is clear-headed enough to thank him. But she immediately turns aggressive and kicks a thug, forcing Wang Han to defend his own innocence, as she remains completely embarrassed by the situation, so he makes a quick exit to avoid the drama. Officer Yang gets suspicious about Wang Han's bag, demanding to see what he is hiding inside, but the bag slips, revealing the stolen boot ahead, and she immediately accuses him of being the thief, yet he brushes her off, claiming he is returning it, as she vows to track him down if he fails, while he walks away from the scene of the chaos, where the local boss suddenly pledges his total loyalty, and Wang Han plays it cool, accepting the offer as he orders a ride to make his grand exit. Wang Han confirms he has the artifact, though he dreads the fallout of keeping it, as he critiques his companion's lack of attire, while she remains completely unbothered by his judgment, so he tosses her a jacket to cover up, questioning her about the whereabouts of his wife, before checking his phone to arrange a meal, as they step out into the bright daylight together, where she demands his attention despite his domestic plans, leaving him to deal with her persistent, bold advances. Wang Han arrives to find debt collectors harassing Lily, as the thugs refuse to let her walk away, and they immediately recognize Wang Han with a sneer, mocking the widow for finding a new protector, but Wang Han keeps his cool while questioning their motives, while the lead thug demands more cash for interest, showing off a document to justify their aggressive behavior, as Wang Han steps in to shield Lily from them, calmly asking for the exact total of the debt while warning the group to deal with him instead. This thugs try to intimidate Lily with sleazy offers, but she shuts them down with a powerful kick, sending their leader flying before he even knows what hit him, and she boldly declares herself to be Wang Han's wife, leaving Wang Han to awkwardly clarify that she is just a friend, while the furious gang decides to attack them both regardless, charging forward in a desperate attempt to regain their pride. Yet she handles the aggression with another swift, precise strike, taking down the remaining troublemakers with ease and total confidence, leaving the entire group defeated and completely stunned on the ground. Lily continues to dominate the remaining troublemakers, while Wang Han decides it is time to leave, assuring his companion that the thugs will survive, as Lily keeps up her intense, one-sided workout, and Wang Han insists they head to the company, unbothered by the chaos left in their wake, arriving shortly after at the towering corporate office, where he shares a meal wife, enjoying the food while discussing his recent delay, until an urgent, distressed call interrupts their lunch. Suchi receives a frantic call about her father, but she recognizes the familiar scam immediately, so she explains the situation to Wang Han, who notices a new, more urgent message arriving, showing her father in a truly desperate state, as the kidnapper demands a massive cash ransom, prompting Wang Han to offer his immediate assistance. Though Suchi tries to keep him out of it, they arrive together at the club to confront them, and Wang Han prepares to handle the situation personally. Wang Han arrives at the club with Suchi, where they find her father held by local thugs, as the terrified man begs for his life, and Wang Han demands his immediate release for cash, while the thug leader mocks the family with insults, claiming the debt remains despite the payment offered, as the villain reveals his twisted, predatory intentions, while the father pathetically pleads for his daughter's compliance, prompting an immediate, sharp reaction from a disgusted Suchi, as the thugs retaliate with an aggressive, forced confrontation. This thugs force a drink on Suchi, ignoring her protests as they try to intimidate her, but she fights back with a well-placed strike, leaving the thug leader in absolute painful shock, who reacts with pure rage at the sudden turn, while her father begs the boss for mercy, as the thug threatens her with further retaliation, until Wang Han arrives to interrupt the chaos, and the leader dismisses him as a mere delivery guy, ordering his men to take Wang Han down immediately. This thugs charge at Wang Han, but he immediately shuts them down, landing a clean strike to keep them back, as the remaining goons scramble away in fear, while he catches the disoriented woman, ignoring the loud complaints from the local boss, who brandishes a broken bottle in blind rage. Yet Wang Han catches his hand with ease, staring him down as the boss keeps shouting, and he forces the man to back off. This thug leader panics as he realizes his mistake, while Wang Han effortlessly brushes off the aggressive move, sending the goon tumbling across the floor in defeat, as the other thugs watch in stunned, fearful silence, and the leader tries to recover his composure quickly, but the tension in the room remains at a peak as the goon desperately tries to call for backup, only to be met with a swift, corrective response, revealing the shocking truth about Wang Han's secret identity, forcing the terrified thugs to beg for their lives. Wang Han decides to call it a night, while the father tries to cling to him, but Wang Han shuts him down with cold indifference, leaving the man stunned by such a harsh rejection, as they finally arrive back at the quiet apartment, where Wang Han tucks his wife in for rest, though she begs him not to leave her side, and he reaches out to comfort her with care, as the mood shifts into something far more intimate, leaving Wang Han questioning if things are moving fast. Wang Han tries to keep his composure, but the next morning brings awkward questions as his companion teases him about their night, while he brushes it off to focus on work, leaving her to handle her own business affairs until a sudden loud shout breaks the silence, prompting a confusing conversation about the previous evening, as Wang Han clears up the misunderstanding calmly while she spots a long-lost item nearby, finally recovering the precious bead she had lost. She confirms the bead belongs to her savior, and Wang Han reveals his name is etched inside, leaving her stunned by the sudden life-changing realization as they head to the office to start the day, where they are greeted by the local security staff, while Wang Han checks in on her lunch plans, until a visitor arrives to interrupt their quiet morning, inviting them to a high-profile celebration later that evening, as the guest notices her unusually bright, happy mood, and she finally reveals that Wang Han is her hero. This ladies discuss Wang Han's surprisingly decent character, as Juefu offers to help recover his lost messages, while Wang Han takes a moment to light up before he is suddenly approached by an unexpected visitor. Then he receives a surprise call from his fourth sister, who announces her arrival in town for a conference and insists on meeting his mysterious new fiancé, leaving Wang Han flustered as the call abruptly drops. So he heads back to the office to regroup, where he finds his wife and demands to know why. Wang Han updates his wife on his sister's arrival, while she questions the size of his large family, and he explains his sister's prestige in the medical field, though she playfully tells him to stop bragging about her. So he heads out to prepare lunch while she works, leaving her to reflect on his surprisingly thoughtful new side, until a sudden phone call interrupts his peaceful moment, where Officer Yang demands the return of the stolen artifact, and Wang Han pretends to have a poor connection, but he ultimately promises to return the item within 1 week. Wang Han ends the call, keeping his cool, while confirming his new job status with ease, as he heads out to handle his daily business, noticing a frantic woman in need of a ride. So he offers his help to get her moving, learning she is rushing to the city hospital, and he speeds off to get her there safely, where they find her family waiting in distress, as the situation with her mother turns critical, and they discuss the urgent need for expert surgery. Lily worries about Director Yan's true intentions, while her cousin insists he's their best hope, and the director arrives with promises of a cure, suggesting a lunch meeting to discuss the medical expert, as he claims his teacher can handle the case, so Wang Han decides to leave them to it, though he can't help but feel the director is shady, watching from afar as the pair continues their talk, where the cousin pushes for his own personal gain, and the director agrees to manipulate the situation further. Wang Han vents his frustration over the shady duo, reaching out to his sister for medical intel, and she promises to have a specialist intervene soon, as he returns to the hospital room to check in, confirming the arrangements while keeping his cool. But Lily and her cousin confront him upon arrival, as he warns her against trusting the director's plans, while the cousin mocks Wang Han's lack of status, and the director arrives to push his own agenda, dismissing Wang Han while bragging about his own connections. Wang Han confronts the group about their shady schemes, while Lily and her cousin remain completely oblivious, as the cousin demands Wang Han leave the hospital. But their conversation is interrupted by the dean's arrival, who introduces a new medical expert to the room, presenting Dr. Niu as the specialist for the case, leaving Lily and her cousin feeling incredibly relieved as the doctor moves in to examine the patient, while the cousin praises Director Yan for his connections and the doctor promises a surgery that costs nothing. Lily questions if Dr. Niu was sent by Wang Han, and the doctor confirms it was indeed his doing, prompting Lily to rush out in search of him, spotting him just as he prepares to drive away, while he calmly asks why she left the hospital, leading her to embrace him in a wave of relief, as he gently comforts her and declines a lunch invite, promising to catch up with her another time instead. So he drives off to deliver food to his wife, and calls her to confirm he is on his way. Wang Han and his wife arrive at the gala, stepping out of the car in their finest formal wear, where the grand entrance immediately draws some unwanted attention, as Wang Han reminds her to keep a low profile, but they are quickly intercepted by a socialite acquaintance, who introduces them to the elderly and eccentric President Liu, while the group exchanges polite but hollow pleasantries, as the host notices the couple and makes a snide remark, questioning the identity of the man accompanying the lady, and mocking Wang Han for his humble delivery job. This crowd whispers about Wang Han's humble job, while he sits calmly, ignoring the judgmental stares, as the host demands that Sue bring him over. So she proudly introduces her husband to Chairman Liu, and Wang Han greets the man with polite grace, surprising everyone when Joe shakes his hand warmly, leaving the snobby guests confused by the friendly gesture, as Wang Han honestly confirms his role as driver, which only fuels the elitist mockery and disdain, until the gala's main celebration finally begins to unfold. This socialite begins her piano performance, playing a melody meant to impress the crowd, while the onlookers whisper about her elite training. But Wang Han remains unimpressed by the display, and he bluntly critiques the lack of genuine emotion, causing the pianist to stop and challenge him, as she demands to know his musical credentials, while the crowd goads him to prove his skill. So he steps toward the piano to take over, dedicating his own performance to his wife. This crowd watches with growing curiosity, as Wang Han begins his elegant piano performance, leaving the guests stunned by his unexpected talent, while he finishes and returns to his wife, earning a wave of applause from the room. Though a critic tries to downplay his skill, but the expert teacher refuses to judge him, leaving the arrogant critic completely shocked and speechless, while the chairman watches the scene with interest as the couple leaves, prompting questions about their connection. Wang Han casually mentions his past connection to the chairman, while his wife teases him about his sudden musical flair, but the mood shifts when he spots a car tailing them, and he floors the gas pedal to escape the suspicious vehicle, ignoring his wife's frantic warnings about the city speed limits, while he drops the bombshell that he lacks a driver's license, leaving her stunned as he drifts through the dangerous city streets, until armed motorcyclists suddenly surround their high-speed car, and gunfire erupts, shattering the windows in a chaotic ambush, so Wang Han forces his wife down to keep her safe. Wang Han grips the wheel with intense focus, swerving hard to dodge the aggressive attackers as he warns his wife to brace herself, maneuvering through the chaos of the high-speed pursuit, while ordering her to duck for her safety as the enemy opens fire with heavy weaponry, shattering the windshield while they desperately hold on, with the pursuers relentless in their dangerous chase, forcing Wang Han to push the car to extremes, until a tire finally gives out under pressure. This damaged car finally skids to a halt, as the mysterious woman realizes she is the target, while the attackers demand they exit the vehicle, forcing the group to flee into a nearby park, where the armed pursuers continue their relentless assault, and Wang Han orders his companions to take cover as he uses his skills to deflect the incoming fire, making the attackers believe they have successfully landed a hit. But he remains standing, having countered their every move, so he urges the women to escape while he leads. This attacker's close in on the fleeing group, forcing Wang Han to guide the women towards safety, as he shields them from a barrage of projectiles, finding a moment to counter the relentless pursuit, and he launches a precise strike against the gunmen, neutralizing the lead threat with a single blow, while he identifies the dangerous group behind the ambush, leaving his wife and companion stunned by the revelation, as he explains the mark of the elite assassins, and reveals the secret motive behind their desperate hunt. Wang Han teases his wife about his hidden talents, while she calls her grandfather to request an immediate pickup, and Wang Han insists on extra security and car repairs, before the trio heads out together to stay safe, but they soon cross paths with a woman stumbling alone, who has taken a nasty fall while carrying her belongings, so Wang Han stops to check on the distressed stranger, only to find himself holding her intimate laundry by mistake, leaving his wife confused by the awkward blushing encounter, as the woman explains her mother just finished surgery. Wang Han bids Lily farewell after their encounter, though he internally sighs about her intense personality, feeling a bit rattled by the recent chaos. He returns home to find a surprise waiting, where he awkwardly asks his guest to cover up, then pivots to business, questioning her pharmaceutical ties, as she confirms the dangerous interest in her work, noting that powerful groups are actively hunting them. So they brainstorm a way to handle the threat, and he suggests leveraging an old debt for protection. Wang Han discusses the delicate situation with his partner, who tries to distract him with some playful advances, but he keeps his cool while she promises to help, though her persistent flirting makes the atmosphere quite tense, until their young daughter suddenly wanders into the room, causing a frantic scramble to maintain a proper appearance, as the little girl hands over some amusement park tickets, reminding Wang Han of his weekend plans with her, so he sends her off to bed with a smile, while warning his partner to behave around the kids. Wang Han brushes off his partner's request to stay, but she clearly isn't ready to let him go yet, so he walks away, leaving her fuming with jealous frustration, while a silent threat looms over the Lin family villa, as an intruder stealthily bypasses the heavy security detail, quickly neutralizing the guards before they can even react, leaving the women inside terrified as their sanctuary is breached, while a cold assassin steps into the room with steel, mocking their situation with a chilling, calculated sense of pity, until she prepares to strike, forcing a desperate final stand. This assassin suddenly silences her target, but a mysterious phone call interrupts her, forcing her to accept an abrupt mission cancellation. So she begrudgingly spares the terrified women and vanishes into the night with incredible speed, just as the security team rushes inside, checking on the safety of the household, while the women confirm the immediate danger past, though the uncle discovers a suspicious calling card, revealing the elite group behind the failed attack. This uncle is stunned that the assassin retreated, as the women explain the mysterious Heretic Emperor intervened, leaving the uncle curious about this powerful, unknown figure, while they thank him for securing the villa grounds, and Lily finds herself stranded while trying to hail transport, until Wang Han pulls up on a motorcycle to help, offering her a ride since her usual car failed, so she hops on the back as they speed away, while she probes him about the background of his daughter, and he keeps his answers brief as they ride off. Wang Han learns CEO Su skipped work today, and he grows concerned by her sudden radio silence, so he fires up his motorcycle to investigate, prioritizing a quick trip home to check on her, arriving at the villa to find things strangely quiet, until he notices the bedroom door left wide open, and he steps inside, caught off guard by the sight, finding his wife waiting in a bold, unexpected outfit, as she attempts to spice up their evening together, leaving a completely bewildered Wang Han questioning reality. Wang Han is caught off guard by his wife's bold approach, as she reaches out to initiate a sudden, intense confrontation, pulling out a hidden blade to test his reflexes, while she excitedly challenges him to a high-stakes spar, forcing him to dodge her swift, calculated strike as she moves with the grace of a trained professional, leaving him stunned and demanding to know her true identity, though she playfully insists she is just his wife, while he realizes she has been hiding her combat skills, and the two engage in a tense, surprising dance of power. Wang Han faces his wife in a tense standoff, as she reveals her true colors with a weapon, firing a shot that narrowly misses his head, while she demands the artifact and threatens his life, so he calmly clarifies that he lacks the item, but she keeps attacking, convinced he is holding out, forcing him to deflect her incoming projectiles with ease, and he disarms her before she can strike again, pinning her down to demand her real identity, while she maintains her playful act despite the defeat. Wang Han confronts his wife about her mysterious origins, but she quickly pivots to a more aggressive stance, moving with a lethal grace that catches him off guard, while he questions if she is actually his childhood betrothed, as she issues a stern warning regarding a hidden artifact. Then she suddenly leaps away to escape his questioning, leaving him alone as she vanishes into the night. So he calls old Lin to clarify her family background, learning that her past is far more complicated than expected, and he realizes the truth might be hidden in plain sight. Wang Han presses his wife for details about her past, but their conversation is interrupted by an unexpected visitor, as her father arrives demanding a large sum of money, forcing Wang Han to watch the awkward family drama unfold, while his wife firmly refuses to entertain her father's request, noting that he has exhausted all his chances for handouts, so she ignores his pleas and invites Wang Han away, leaving the frustrated father to vent his bitter resentment as he scoffs at Wang Han's modest financial status, only to find a mysterious item left behind by accident. This father eyes the token, plotting a payout. He corners his daughter with a desperate plea, claiming she isn't actually his biological child, bringing up a past medical crisis to prove it. But she shuts down his wild paternity claims. Yet the token triggers a sudden, haunting memory, so he demands a massive sum for the secret, haggling over the price like a common merchant, until the transfer hits his account with a ping, and he pockets the cash, leaving the mystery behind. Su Jianye examines the mysterious beads, feeling a strange sense of familiarity while Wang Han enters the room, completely unaware of what just transpired, and he begins adjusting his suit, distracted by his own thoughts. But his composure shatters when he realizes the beads have vanished, along with his pocket money, leaving him wondering if Su Qi was involved. So he questions his wife about any visitors, only to be told she was alone, and despite his lingering suspicion, he decides to let the matter drop for now, as she insists on taking him to the hospital for a quick checkup. So they head out together, speeding away in their car, while Wang Han asks her to keep his medical visit strictly confidential. Wang Han maneuvers through traffic with reckless intensity while his passenger critiques his lack of turn signals, until a sudden realization hits her about the past, prompting her to ask about the origin of his bead, and he mentions it was a gift from his sister, explaining the lore behind the dragon and phoenix tokens, though he quickly brushes off her playful teasing about jealousy as she shifts focus to the upcoming paternity test results, wondering if these events are truly guided by fate, until an assistant interrupts to announce an unexpected visitor. A mysterious woman suddenly crashes the scene, demanding that Su Jianye abandon her husband, offering a massive payout to seal the deal. But Jianye laughs off the pathetic bribery attempt, declaring her commitment to her marriage and pregnancy, while the intruder insists she reconsider the offer, mocking the idea that Wang Han holds value, before tossing the card aside in total defiance, just as a friend arrives to break the tension, bringing exciting news about a major medical breakthrough. This girls discuss a brilliant medical expert, deciding to visit this genius immediately as they rush off to secure the meeting, eager to leverage her legendary pulse diagnosis skills, while a sneaky intruder slips into the room, finding a bank card left carelessly behind, and mocking the owner for writing the password, before heading outside to make a suspicious call, where he claims to have checked on someone, leaving his contact shocked by the sudden news. Wang Han prepares his wife for a meeting, but he is stunned by an unexpected arrival, finding a familiar face cooking in the kitchen as the mysterious Yi Qingqiu greets them warmly, and they all gather around for a home-cooked meal, while Su Qi wonders about this woman's impressive background, as Qingqiu officially introduces herself as Wang Han's sister, and the group settles in to enjoy the dinner, though Qingqiu immediately claims the bedroom for herself, leaving a defeated Wang Han stuck on the sofa. Wang Han relaxes while pondering his wife's lookalike, but a late-night notification interrupts his quiet evening, leaving him stunned as he reads the sender's name, because Lin Shuefu has reached out with a bold invitation, and he can hardly believe the audacity of her message, so he heads out to the park with his family, where they meet up with teacher Xia for their outing, and the group enjoys a lively day at the carousel. Though Wang Han suddenly senses something off in the crowd, and he turns around to investigate a suspicious presence. Wang Han confronts the man who has been tailing them, but Kang Hongzhe brushes off the accusation with a smirk, while Wanying demands he stop following her and leave. Yet he remains persistent, threatening to cause trouble for them, so the family ignores him to grab a quick snack, until a sudden commotion erupts near the park lake, where a person is seen struggling in the deep water, prompting Wanying to rush forward to help the victim, though Wang Han tries to hold her back for safety, only to dive into the water himself to save the day. Wang Han dives in with Olympic-level speed, while onlookers scramble to help the remaining victims, discovering another person trapped beneath the thick seaweed. So Wang Han plunges back in without hesitation, leaving the crowd terrified as the minutes tick by, while a bystander cruelly suggests he won't return, prompting Wang Ying to slap the man in fury, as she desperately tries to reach the water herself, until the crowd spots movement beneath the surface, and Wang Han finally emerges with the survivor. Wang Han emerges from the water, shocking the crowd, while he reassures his family that he is perfectly fine, as the onlookers gather around the unconscious victim he saved, and Wang Han steps in to examine the man's condition, while his family watches him with a mix of relief and pride, as the bystanders comment on the victim's strange, unresponsive state, and Wang Han takes charge to provide some emergency medical aid. While he notices something peculiar about the patient's physical health, as he realizes the person he rescued is actually a woman, and the crowd marvels at her survival despite the long ordeal. Wang Han brushes off the praise, keeping things humble, while the rescued woman introduces herself as Zhang Miaoyan, and she insists on treating him to a meal, so the group decides to head out together, though a nearby observer seethes, shocked that Wang Han survived, and Miaoyan asks to borrow Wang Han's phone, taking a call that brings some terrible news, as a business partner tries to lowball her hard work, forcing her to cut their dinner plans short, so she rushes off to handle the crisis alone. Wang Han drives Miaoyan to meet her potential investors, as she explains her team's hard work on their software, arriving quickly at the office building for the high-stakes meeting, where they are greeted and led straight to the boardroom, and Miaoyan introduces herself to the skeptical Mr. Zheng, who immediately tries to lowball them with a cheap buyout, while Wang Han steps in to defend their project's true value. But Zheng keeps pushing his insulting offer to the group, even trying to bribe Miaoyan into joining his company alone, causing her team to crumble under pressure and betray her. Zheng dismisses ethics, claiming business is strictly about profit, but Wang Han steps in, asserting his own investment stake, and he calls out the investor for his insulting offer, mocking the man's arrogance while promising he will regret it, so the traitorous partners leave, feeling smug about their departure, leaving Miaoyan worried about their lack of launch funds. Yet Wang Han remains calm, offering to cover the costs, and he shocks everyone by transferring 5 million instantly, finally introducing himself properly as their new financial backer, before asking for a deep dive into their software. Wang Han reviews the software details with his team, realizing they need reliable experts to handle the business, so he calls in a favor to secure legal support, delegating the recruitment tasks while he manages the funding, and he drives teacher Xia home while praising the software. But they soon notice a mysterious vehicle tailing them, forcing Wang Han to maneuver through traffic to lose them, as he drops his family off at home for safety, and he spots the persistent stalker lurking nearby, finally confronting the man who refused to give up. Wang Han demands to know who sent the stalker, tossing the guy aside when he tries to resist, as they arrive at a meeting with a mysterious boss, where Master Bai introduces himself and his shady business, offering Wang Han a massive payout for underwater salvage work, while his associate questions if the price is justified. But Wang Han negotiates a deposit to ensure his security, checking his phone while considering the suspicious offer, and receiving an unexpected message urging him to accept, so he agrees to the deal, sealing their new partnership. Wang Han demands the truth about the job as the old man reveals the dangerous location, where the currents are strong enough to turn dragons, and the deal is sealed with a firm deadline, leaving Wang Han to watch his contact drive away, while he calls for more details on the mission, and learns the true target is a golden statue, which holds a mysterious relic deep within its chest, as the history of the monk and pagoda unfolds, but the old man refuses to explain his motives. Wang Han wraps up his call, agreeing to the terms, while Wang Ying sits quietly, reviewing documents in the living room, and he walks in trying to act like it is just another day. But she immediately spots the appraisal report in his hand, so she snatches it away, demanding to know what is going on, while she fixates on the mysterious bead he is carrying, and he jokingly claims to be a secret international tycoon, though she clearly does not buy his ridiculous story, as the next morning brings an unexpected visitor to their office, and the woman confronts them, questioning why they are involved. Ling Ling confronts the visitor about her obsession, while the woman insists her devotion is absolute, demanding a price to walk away forever. But Ling Ling refuses to play along with her, so the visitor leaves, crossing paths with CEO Zhang, who warns Ling Ling about the woman's powerful background, leaving the group to wonder about her true influence as they discuss the threat to their family home, prompting Ling Ling to review the documents left behind, and she calls for backup to handle the situation. CEO Su grills her assistant about recent intruders, confirming that Sule was indeed the culprit, so she immediately dials him up to confront him, demanding the return of her stolen bank card, while threatening him with evidence of his past crimes as her assistant watches the tense exchange unfold, surprised that the situation is actually escalating, and she dismisses her assistant to handle things alone, just as Sule casually strolls in to return it, but she loses her cool after seeing the balance. Sule acts casual about returning the card, but CEO Su loses it when she checks the balance, realizing he blew through 10 million like it was nothing, so she kicks him out while fuming over his audacity, as Sule wanders off thinking about the bribe he secured, while he spins wild, exaggerated tales to his bored associates, until Wang Han suddenly appears and catches his attention, leaving CEO Su conflicted as she watches them interact, while Wang Han keeps things light by suggesting a lunch, and she walks away still reeling from the day's chaos. CEO Su desperately calls to liquidate her assets, needing quick cash to cover her massive losses, but the line goes dead as she waits, while Sule demands a steep price for Wang Han, leaving her to process his absurd, greedy ultimatum as she sighs, realizing Wang Han makes his own choices, while a luxury vehicle pulls up to find him, and his associates point out the unexpected arrival as a stylish woman steps out of the car, insisting on a final meeting before her flight departs. This mysterious visitor demands a sudden, affectionate embrace, pulling Wang Han into a surprisingly emotional hug, while she tries to hide her tears with excuses, and he remains confused by her erratic, intense behavior. But she suddenly lashes out with a sharp insult, leaving him baffled as she critiques his personal appearance, before declaring her undying devotion and walking away, leaving Wang Han completely stunned by the entire encounter, as he watches her car speed off into traffic, and he receives a cryptic text message shortly after. CEO Su cuts ties, leaving the card behind, while she questions who exactly Wang Han is, so she calls her contact to dig up dirt, only to find his background is suspiciously blank, and she pivots to investigating his mysterious sisters instead. Meanwhile, Wang Han receives a tip about a suspect, learning the person they caught is currently unconscious, so he confirms the location at Dragon Bay Villa, and he immediately hops on his bike to investigate, speeding toward the villa to uncover the truth. Wang Han strides into the villa with purpose, finding the unconscious suspect sprawled on the couch, so he orders his men to wake him, splashing cold water to snap the guy awake, while the groggy captive struggles to regain his senses, and Wang Han demands the location of his target, but the suspect just smirks about the stolen relic, forcing Wang Han to shut him down quickly, as the guy continues to taunt him with riddles. So Wang Han prepares to teach him a lesson. Wang Han forces the captive to spill the beans, learning that a dangerous woman named Hu Dai is hunting him, and realizing she belongs to the Lethal G family from the Dark Eight Gates, which is apparently a group of professional assassins operating in the shadows, so he listens as his associate confirms the threat is real, noting that these shady sects are now actively targeting them, and Wang Han orders his men to haul the captive away, while warning his team to stay alert against such ruthless enemies, as he shifts his focus to ensuring Su Qi stays protected. But he is suddenly interrupted by an unexpected arrival at the villa. This young woman demands to know Wang Han's identity, as the old man reveals he is the mastermind, leaving her completely shocked by the massive reveal, while Wang Han remains oblivious to her secret photos, and she flees the room in a total panic, so the old man orders his assistant to continue spying, while Wang Han feels his phone vibrate with a call, and he checks the screen to see who is ringing, as he learns that a rival is stealing his thunder, prompting him to head out and handle the business. This old man confirms Wang Han has departed, leaving the young woman stunned by his status, as he warns her to keep his identity secret, while the scene shifts to the office headquarters, where Wang Han checks in on the promotional spending, questioning why his assistant hasn't used the full budget, and he pushes him to commit the entire amount, casually dismissing the massive sum as pocket change, while the rival team celebrates their own early success, completely unaware of the storm Wang Han is brewing. This rival team plots to mock their opponents, but they soon realize their competition is gaining ground, leaving them stunned that the opposition has secured funding, and the realization that 5 million was spent hits hard, prompting the boss to demand an aggressive counterattack, while Wang Han celebrates his software's sudden rise, confirming a massive 5 million deposit to his account, as he predicts his rival will panic and overspend. And the opposition indeed doubles down on their promotion, while Wang Han remains unfazed, ready to outspend them all. CEO Zheng panics as another 5 million vanishes, refusing to back down despite the mounting losses. He summons Old Huang to handle the crisis, ordering a direct cyber attack on their rival's servers. While they grant a mysterious contact full system access, spotting a strange familiar digital signature on screen, realizing it belongs to the infamous hacker Bafum, who leads the notorious Black Goat organization. So Zheng decides to weaponize his wealth against them, but their own server suddenly takes a massive hit. This team realizes a top-tier hacker is attacking, leaving everyone stressed about the massive financial losses. But Wang Han remains calm, unfazed by the threat, effortlessly switching between languages to coordinate his countermove, while his team watches in awe at his skills as Zheng celebrates his temporary lead on the charts, until his own system starts glitching out of control, showing a bizarre digital intrusion on his main screen. And the rival team panics as their servers crash, realizing Wang Han just unleashed an even deadlier hacker. Wang Han's team celebrates their massive digital victory as he casually authorizes more funding for marketing. Then he rides his bike to meet Meng, finding her alone in the quiet, dim bar where she admits she is desperate for cash, planning to sell her business to cover debts. So Wang Han asks for her industry connections instead, while offering to help her find a buyer, and he agrees to cover the 9 million shortfall, sealing the deal with a simple, generous promise. Wang Han storms into the bar demanding the money, but a group of thugs is already cornering Meng, so he steps in to defend her from their harassment, and the lead bully tries to shove him aside, while Meng reveals she has already sold the business, which sends the thug into a violent, uncontrolled rage. But Wang Han shuts him down with a bottle, leaving the bully stunned by his sudden, decisive intervention, as the thug shrieks for his goons to attack, so Wang Han prepares to take them all down. Wang Han effortlessly kicks the thug away, mocking his pathetic lack of actual skill, while another attacker tries a surprise strike, but he easily dodges the entire chaotic group, as Meng warns him about the dangerous Brotherhood alliance. Though Wang Han remains completely unimpressed by them, ignoring her pleas to leave the scene immediately, he calmly calls his contact to track them, while the thugs start receiving some urgent calls, realizing their own organization is turning on them. This terrified thug begs Wang Han for mercy, while Wang Han forces him to apologize to Meng, telling him to direct his groveling at her instead. So the bully pleads for forgiveness while Meng watches. And Wang Han dismisses the pathetic group for good, as the thugs scramble away in a total panic, leaving Meng to express her genuine gratitude to him, while Wang Han reunites with Lily and the children, discussing a potential job offer with his associate, before sending the kids off to finish their homework. Wang Han drops the kids off, finding the quiet house a bit strange, so he checks in on Suchi via text, feeling a bit annoyed by her late-night plans. But he shifts focus to his business contacts, heading out to meet Meng at the bar, where she is busy catching up with friends, and she casually mentions selling the business off while he presses her on meeting his associate, as she shares her surprisingly positive first impression. A mysterious woman suddenly appears at the door, looking completely disheveled and soaking wet, while Wang Han questions why she returned so soon. But she ignores his advice to change her clothes, and instead lunges at him with a hidden blade, forcing him to react with lightning-fast reflexes, as she declares that he must be eliminated, showing off some serious combat skills in the process, while Wang Han remains calm despite the sudden betrayal, and he swiftly pins her down to demand answers. This mysterious woman demands her stolen items back, but Wang Han remains calm as he deflects, pinning her down while questioning her wild motives, as she lashes out with a hidden blade, narrowly missing him as he dodges the strike, and she continues her aggressive assault without pause, forcing Wang Han to counter her swift kicks, while he notes her striking resemblance to Su Qi, wondering if she is actually a long-lost sister, before firmly denying he has the items she seeks. This mysterious intruder demands the stolen artifacts, brandishing a sharp blade with lethal intent, while Wang Han plays along to de-escalate, pretending to comply while she makes a call. But she suddenly bolts for the exit, leaving the room as quickly as she arrived, while Suchi enters the apartment shortly after, finding Wang Han resting in the dark, noticing the suspicious water puddles on the floor, and grabbing him in a confused, tense confrontation. Wang Han senses a strange, lingering presence, while Suchi returns home unexpectedly early. Noticing the chaotic, water-soaked floor immediately, she catches a faint, lingering scent in the air, questioning if another woman was just here, as she stares him down with deep suspicion, clearly unimpressed by his flimsy, panicked excuses, while he struggles to find the right words, desperately trying to explain the bizarre, impossible situation. But his attempts at honesty only make things worse. Wang Han gets an early call to head out, and he meets up with Liu Ye at the transport, while he questions the status of his associate Bai Deming, but Liu Ye insists he just follow her lead instead, so she blindfolds him to maintain their operational secrecy, as they travel for an hour to a hidden location, where she finally wakes him up upon their arrival, leading him into a secure base to meet the team, where he is introduced to a group of waiting men, but a sudden, cryptic comment leaves everyone feeling uneasy. This team gathers to discuss their high-stakes mission, with Wang Han readying everyone for the immediate departure, arriving at the beach to locate the hidden grotto, where a professional diver prepares to guide their path, but sudden news of approaching hostiles interrupts their plans. So the team delegates defense duties to handle the threat, while the water level drops just in time, and the guide dives into the waves without hesitation, leaving Wang Han and his crew to follow suit, as they plunge underwater to secure their target. This team spots a massive metallic signature, hoping to find the legendary Iron Ox, but they discover something far more intimidating instead, realizing the creature is actually a giant centipede, so the guide warns everyone to keep back, pointing toward a swirling whirlpool entrance nearby, which they enter to bypass the dangerous beast, while the guide tries to squeeze out more money, leading them into a hidden ancient chamber, where they finally uncover the long-lost sacred stupa. This team struggles to extract the heavy relic, but the hardened stone proves far too durable, so Wang Han steps up to try his luck, delivering a powerful strike that shatters the surrounding rock, while the elder guide questions his true motives, suddenly lunging forward to snatch the prize away, catching Wang Han off guard with a swift blow, as the old man mocks him while clutching the loot, leaving our hero stunned and bleeding in the water, while a dark, ominous presence looms from the shadows. Wang Han realizes the guide betrayed him, as a massive serpent emerges from the shadows, forcing him to dodge its sudden, lethal strike, while he counters with a powerful direct blow, but the beast retaliates by spewing toxic mist, making him leap away to avoid the fumes, yet he keeps his focus on the objective, landing several precise hits to weaken the creature, until the serpent finally retreats in defeat, leaving Wang Han to secure the prize alone. Wang Han surfaces from the water, leaving the serpent behind in the depths, but his return is met with immediate hostility, as the greedy guide demands a higher payout, turning aggressive when things do not go his way, while the team threatens Wang Han for the relic, forcing him to defend himself against their assault. As the standoff escalates into a chaotic brawl, while a mysterious diver watches the scene unfold, enjoying the fallout of their failed, greedy scheme. Wang Han mocks the guide for his greed, while the old man smugly reveals his deception, leaving the crew to brawl while he escapes, and Wang Han strips off his gear in frustration, taking a call to confirm he secured the relic, as his contact orders him to infiltrate the group, forcing Wang Han to play along with the mission, while a violent confrontation breaks out over the prize, as the greedy rivals argue over the massive payout, and they decide to hunt Wang Han down instead. This old guide gloats about leaving Wang Han behind, but his smugness vanishes when he spots a survivor, as the team rushes to pull the diver ashore and Wang Han emerges, immediately hunting for the traitor, catching the old man off guard with his sudden return, while he prepares to settle the score for the betrayal. But Bai Deming intervenes to stop the immediate confrontation, warning that the guide is still their only lead. Yet Wang Han refuses to let the deception slide until a new threat appears with a drawn weapon. Wang Han swiftly disarms the hostile threat, expertly ejecting the magazine from the weapon, while keeping his opponent in a tight hold as the man panics over his sudden disadvantage, realizing his firearm is now completely useless, so he desperately pleads for a peaceful resolution, while the greedy guide demands his payment first, forcing Wang Han to kick his captive away. After confirming the funds have finally arrived, leaving the frustrated man shouting in defeat. This frustrated man continues his loud, empty threats, while Wang Han keeps him pinned with a firm warning, turning his attention to Mr. Bai for a calculated negotiation, as he offers to help the old man clear his path, sparking a flicker of genuine interest in the traitor's eyes. So they begin discussing a new, mutually beneficial arrangement, with Wang Han promising to remove any obstacles in their way, and the old man clearly intrigued by this sudden power play, while Wang Han lays out his cold, strategic demands, just as the rest of the crew arrives to intervene. Wang Han effortlessly neutralizes the remaining hostile threats, taking down the opposition with surgical, tactical precision while he casually reports the success to Mr. Bai, who is clearly impressed by his new associate's skills, though Wang Han privately notes his true infiltration mission as the group discusses the dangerous fallout of their actions. While a new player arrives to challenge the status quo, demanding a massive payout to secure the golden relic, so they confirm the transfer of funds immediately. But the situation remains tense as the heavy prize stays behind. Wang Han remains suspicious of the guide's sudden talkativeness, while the rest of the crew prepares for their next move, and he confirms his distrust of the old man's motives, diving deep into the water to investigate the site, where he discovers a mysterious submerged shipwreck looming ominously in the dark, silent depths, as a diver works to secure a heavy chained object, signaling for help as he struggles with the load, while Wang Han watches the situation with growing concern, and moves in to confront the diver directly. Wang Han grabs the diver, ready for a confrontation, but the man turns around, revealing a familiar face, catching our hero off guard with a sudden strike, as the diver lunges forward to press the advantage, leaving Wang Han reeling from the unexpected blow, while the mysterious attacker reveals his true identity, and Wang Han realizes exactly who he is dealing with, forcing a high-stakes underwater scuffle to break out, as the pair separates, leaving the old man vulnerable, so Wang Han pursues him, demanding he stop running. Wang Han maneuvers through the deep water, as his attacker opens fire with a weapon, forcing him to dodge the incoming projectiles, while he closes the distance with lightning speed, grabbing the assailant in a firm, restrictive hold, as the diver desperately tries to break free, but Wang Han counters with a precise strike, catching the man off guard in the depths, and effectively neutralizing the threat with ease, leaving the defeated diver stunned and completely subdued. Wang Han forces the diver to take his oxygen, while insisting the other person heads to the surface, but the diver stubbornly refuses to leave the prize behind, so Wang Han grabs the heavy statue and makes his move, pointing toward the surface to get them both out, while he mentally vents his frustration at the situation, prioritizing the safety of his companion over the mission. Meanwhile on the shore, the team paces in anticipation, as the old guide grows anxious about the delay, wondering if something has gone wrong in the depths. This group rushes ashore, frantically calling for medical help as they report their teammate was ambushed by rivals, while Wang Han quickly tends to the injured diver, though the old man only cares about the stolen relic, suggesting they wait for others to fight before intervening. While Wang Han focuses on stabilizing the patient's condition, and he insists on getting her to a clinic immediately, so the team retreats to the city under cover of night, arriving at a medical facility to seek professional care, where the doctor confirms the patient is finally out of danger. This doctor questions the failed mission, while the team worries about their superiors, and the guide asks to speak with leadership, as the doctor notes the dangerous new interference, deciding to make a call to clarify things, while Wang Han learns the doctor is their liaison, as they wait for further instructions from above, and the doctor receives a high-stakes ultimatum, promising a promotion if they secure the prize, so he introduces Wang Han as his secret weapon. This doctor sets a 3-day deadline for the mission, as the team hits the road in a hurry, with Sixth Master claiming he has eyes everywhere. But news of a stolen prize sparks immediate outrage, so the old man urges everyone to stay calm, while his young associate accepts the lesson in patience, though Wang Han presses for details on their true employer. Yet the old man deflects with vague, empty promises as they decide to take a break from the chaos, heading toward a secret spot to finally relax. This crew arrives at a luxury bathhouse where Sixth Master gets a warm, flirtatious welcome as they head upstairs to the VIP suite, finally settling down for some much-needed relaxation. But Wang Han suddenly realizes he is in trouble, seeing a flood of missed messages from his wife, and his phone starts ringing at the worst time, forcing him to frantically explain his whereabouts, just as the staff enters to offer their services, leaving him to desperately defend his innocence over the phone. Wang Han deals with a frustrating call while trying to explain his sudden stress, so he excuses himself to handle family business. But his attempt to reach out fails, just as his mysterious contact calls him back, giving him the location of the hidden items and ordering him to infiltrate the opposition immediately, while the old man keeps up the pressure, repeating his instructions about the drop site, leaving Wang Han to execute the dangerous mission. Wang Han receives a sudden cryptic drop location, while Mr. Bai reveals the road chief has resurfaced, demanding a cash-on-delivery trade for their golden statue. So the group heads out to the rendezvous point, arriving at the desolate dark site under the moonlight, where they split up to cover both the statue and body, as Wang Han questions if their rivals are also coming, while he confidently offers to handle the retrieval alone, convincing Mr. Bai to let him lead the operation, and the team finally moves in to take action. Wang Han signals his partner to move out, spotting the foreman's boat docked near the shore, but he advises patience instead of rushing in until they notice rivals from the Dark Eight gates, and Wang Han recognizes Hu Dai among them, wondering why she isn't with their own leader. While he realizes this confirms the prize is nearby, watching closely as the opposition begins their search. Then the rivals suddenly recover the golden body, so Wang Han orders his team to strike immediately. This team rushes toward the boat, but Wang Han orders them to retreat, only to be confronted by a familiar face as rival coolly greets him with a smirk, and she immediately pulls a weapon on him, demanding the prize before things get messy, while Wang Han prepares to counter her move, dodging her strike with lightning-fast reflexes, as the rest of the crew charges into the fray, leaving Wang Han to engage her in close combat. Wang Han effortlessly deflects his rival's aggressive strike, mocking her lack of technique with a smirk, while she desperately tries to block his swift counter, but he easily overpowers her with superior physical force, leaving her grounded and disarmed on the floor as he turns his attention toward the mysterious accomplice. While the woman struggles to recover from the impact, and she pulls her weapon to stop his advance, firing a shot that narrowly misses its intended target, so Wang Han secures the prize and neutralizes the threat. Wang Han deflects the incoming fire with ease, grabbing the golden prize while keeping his distance, and he tells his rival to just give up, but she refuses to let him escape with it, forcing him to leap overboard into the dark water, while his team scrambles to make their own exit, as the rival pursues him through the cold waves, determined to reclaim the treasure at any cost. So the group rallies to ensure their getaway succeeds, speeding away into the night to lose their pursuers. Wang Han narrowly dodges a projectile, while his rival pursues him on a motorcycle, firing shots to force his vehicle to stop, but a massive truck suddenly barrels into their path, leaving the pursuer shocked by the sudden obstacle, as she is thrown from her bike in the chaos. While Wang Han watches the collision from his car, and the road becomes a scene of total wreckage, as his associates arrive to secure the area, while Wang Han realizes his secret identity is compromised. Wang Han orders his men to clear the area, worried that leaving his rival behind spells disaster, so he tells Aza to secure the golden prize, while he decides to intervene in the chaos himself, heading toward the dark, industrial building nearby, where he stalks the ruthless guards from the shadows, tossing a small object to create a distraction, which draws the guards' attention toward the noise, allowing him to ambush them from behind, and he swiftly neutralizes the threat with precision. Wang Han catches his opponent off guard, pinning him down while mocking his arrogance as he turns his focus toward the captive, demanding to know the location of the statue, but she stubbornly claims the prize is gone, so he uses a candle to intimidate her, causing her distress as the wax begins dripping, while he keeps up the pressure with taunts, unaware that he is being watched from outside, until the captive strikes back with a headbutt. Wang Han finds himself in a sudden standoff, as his captive reveals a hidden blade, showing off a lethal technique from the Thieves' Guild, forcing him to draw his weapon in defense, while he warns her to back down immediately. But she lunges forward with a sharp counter, leading to a quick exchange that leaves her injured, yet she remains defiant despite the clear disadvantage, until the environment itself begins to collapse around them, leaving Wang Han to face an unexpected new threat. Wang Han drags his rival into the car, ordering her inside while the situation spirals, as his team watches their getaway vehicle speed off, leaving the opposition behind in a cloud of dust, while he promises to get her to a hospital, though she remains skeptical of his sudden kindness, wincing in pain as her injury worsens, so he attempts to treat the wound himself, warning her about the risk of infection, but she stubbornly rejects his help and demands answers. Wang Han tends to his rival's injury, but she insists on settling their debt immediately, promising to come for him once she recovers, so he deflects with a joke about his wife, causing their car to swerve in the chaos, while she snaps at him to drive properly, as a heavy truck suddenly blocks their path, forcing them into a dangerous high-speed evasive maneuver, while their pursuers close in from behind, leaving Wang Han to focus on the road. Wang Han swerves hard to dodge the oncoming truck, narrowly missing a collision as they speed away, while his passenger demands to know his true identity, keeping a blade pressed against him for answers, but he just deflects her hostility with playful banter, shifting the topic to the mystery of the white bead, which reveals a shocking connection about her hidden lineage, leaving her stunned as she realizes the item is missing, and she frantically denies stealing it despite his teasing, so she demands to be dropped off immediately. Wang Han insists on medical help, but she refuses, stepping out of the car to end their alliance, leaving her standing alone as he drives away, while she reminds him to keep his word regarding Su Chi, though he just laughs off her skepticism with a smirk, shifting his focus to the mystery of the stolen beads, till his phone buzzes with an unexpected incoming call, where a contact demands his presence for a meeting, so he heads straight to the designated villa location, arriving to find his associates waiting with the prize. Wang Han meets with Mr. Bai to finalize their plans, while the team inspects the statue for any potential issues, noting that the missing pagoda is the real prize they seek. As the long-awaited contact finally walks through the door, and the newcomer immediately demands to see the goods, while Mr. Bai plays along to keep the ruse alive, so the contact orders them to bring the statue along, giving Wang Han the chance to finally meet the mastermind as they travel toward the secluded villa under the night sky, and the group arrives to deliver the prize as requested. Wang Han notes the unusual nature of the residence, while a mysterious woman watches them from the sidelines, and his associate warns him to keep his head down, as Mr. Bai is summoned to meet the boss alone, leaving Wang Han to be hushed by his nervous companion, who insists that the boss has a volatile temper, though he knows nothing about the organization's true origins, leaving Wang Han unimpressed by the lack of intel, while the woman continues to observe their every move as the duo tries to blend in without drawing attention. Wang Han wonders if the lady is a captive, while she playfully scolds a fish in the pond, still questioning her strange situation with his associate, as she continues her one-sided chat with the koi, but then her footing slips on the wet stone, causing her to lose balance and tumble backward, so Wang Han rushes over to catch her, grabbing her hand just before she hits the water, pulling her to safety while checking her condition, and she reveals a painful injury on her foot. Wang Han offers medical aid to the injured lady, explaining that he arrived alongside Mr. Bai, and she seems unimpressed by the mention of the old man, so he finishes bandaging her foot before standing up, when a newcomer arrives to summon Wang Han inside, as she warns the guard against any rough behavior, leading them into a room where the boss waits, who introduces Wang Han as the man behind the recent heist, and the boss immediately begins his intense interrogation, demanding to know who else has seen the golden statue. This boss grills his subordinate about a past death, learning that the Dark Eight Gates took the target out, so he promotes Bai Deeming to fill the power vacuum, deciding to let the street keeper go for now, as the group wraps up their meeting and heads out, while the boss plots to leak news of the stolen goods, shifting his focus to the suspicious Wang Han, convinced the kid is responsible for the recent murder, leaving his associate shocked by the sudden revelation, as they resolve to track Wang Han's every move. Wang Han and Old Bai celebrate their successful mission, while the injured lady asks for a little assistance, requesting that he help her return to her room. So Old Bai leaves the heavy lifting to our guy, and Wang Han agrees to escort her inside the villa, guiding her carefully as they walk toward her quarters, finally arriving at her room to settle her down, where she introduces herself as Cheon, and Wang Han politely tells her to get some rest. But he spots a familiar bead and demands an explanation. Cheon explains the bead's sentimental value, leaving Wang Han to make a quick exit, while she wonders why he was so curious, pondering the strange circumstances of his sudden arrival, as an associate checks on her injured foot, asking about the man who just left her room, while she praises Wang Han for his refreshing attitude, leaving the man intrigued by her newfound interest as Wang Han heads back to the car outside, where Old Bai offers him a partnership for power. Wang Han plays it cool, aiming to become Mr. Li's right-hand man, while he probes Old Bai about the mysterious Miss Chi's true origins, learning she is a complicated figure in the Li family's messy history, so he keeps his confidence high while they drive toward their goal, though he remains curious about the rumors surrounding her secret birth, and Old Bai warns him to steer clear of romantic entanglements. But Wang Han's focus shifts instantly when his phone starts blowing up, revealing a frantic, aggressive message about his wife's supposed wandering eye, causing him to brush off Old Bai's concern with a dismissive shrug, as he demands to be dropped off to handle his own business. Zhang Junhao returns home, clearly missing his target, and he immediately confronts Su about his time abroad, acting smooth while hinting at his true intentions, when an unexpected visitor interrupts their tense meeting, as Su introduces the newcomer simply as her driver, though the man ignores the label to offer lunch, getting shut down by Su, who wants him gone, yet he persists, demanding a private word with her, which only earns him a sharp threat of eviction, as the tension spikes while he refuses to budge. Zhang Junhao gets physical, forcing a sharp confrontation, while Su slams the table to shut him down, demanding to know why she should ever trust him, as he checks his phone, ignoring her cold dismissal, receiving an urgent message that demands his immediate attention, so he vows to prove his sincerity despite her doubts, while the other man tries to de-escalate the situation, but Zhang Junhao persists, offering to wait for her later, though Su remains firm, cutting ties to avoid further drama, as he keeps pushing for answers about her husband's whereabouts. Su brushes off the confrontation, leaving her partner fuming, as he realizes he has been completely shut out, while he gets a report on the suspicious delivery driver, dismissing the man as a threat to his own plans. Meanwhile, Wang Han gets an urgent call about a fundraiser, where he is tasked with recruiting a new contact, as the elite crowd begins to gather at the venue, and Wang Han notes the event is just a front, while he spots the key players already in attendance, as the host welcomes everyone to the charity gala. Chi Yinan suddenly asks Wang Han to be her date, while her brother acknowledges the request with a polite nod, so Wang Han agrees to follow her to a private area, leaving the rest of the gala guests behind in the hall as a mysterious woman watches them with a suspicious glare, while Wang Han leaves the lady alone for a brief moment, but a sudden cry for help echoes from the next room, causing Wang Han to rush back in with his guard up, where he catches the masked woman attempting a surprise attack, and he is shocked to discover the identity of his assailant. Wang Han finds himself cornered by the aggressive attacker, who tries to bolt but gets yanked back instantly, leading to a messy scuffle as she throws punches. While he demands to know why she broke their deal, but she just lashes out with a desperate kick, only for Cheon to walk in and spot the chaos, as Wang Han tries to restrain the woman's wild movements, while Cheon steps in to defend the mysterious assailant, scolding Wang Han for his rough handling of the situation, until the attacker pulls a blade and grabs Cheon. This attacker demands the beads, but Wang Han stays cold, calling her bluff while she keeps the lady hostage, so he tries to usher Cheon away from danger, as the lady pleads for a peaceful resolution to this, and Wang Han finally agrees to hand over the goods, tossing the beads over to end the standoff right there. But the assailant fumbles the catch and loses her footing, causing Wang Han to snap as the situation turns chaotic, and he chases after her as she makes a break, leaving the others behind to wonder what just happened. Chi Yinan confronts the mysterious woman, Nanan, while the attacker plays the victim perfectly, claiming she was robbed and threatened by force, and insisting that Wang Han is just lying, leaving Chi Yinan skeptical of her friend's story as the tension between the two women spikes, while Nanan keeps pushing her innocent act hard, so they decide to get her injury treated. But the attacker suddenly bolts away on her bike, leaving Wang Han to explain the bead is gone. Chi Yinan expresses relief that Wang Han is safe, while he explains that the attacker escaped with a lookalike, noting that nobody believes their account of the double, leaving Wang Han frustrated by the lady's stubborn denial, so he agrees to escort her home for safety, guiding her to his vehicle to leave the scene, and settling her down in her room upon arrival, where he asks to see her childhood photos for verification. And she agrees to share them as a thank you, revealing a picture that might finally solve the mystery. Wang Han realizes his childhood betrothed is right there, but he awkwardly pivots to suggesting they be siblings, laughing off her attempt to make it official, while she keeps a sweet smile despite the rejection, so he makes a quick exit to avoid further complications, heading out into the night to clear his head, where he calls for a deep dive into her background, arriving at the orphanage the very next morning, wondering if he'll find the answers he is seeking, until a man approaches him to finally make contact. Wang Han arrives at the orphanage seeking Zhao Dabao, but he runs into Dean Liu instead, just as Su unexpectedly shows up at the same location, leading to an awkward introduction between the two parties, while a wealthy bystander mocks Wang Han's modest financial status, only for the dean to reveal Wang Han's massive secret donations, leaving the arrogant man stunned by his hidden generosity, as Su steps in to offer her own contribution, which triggers a petty bidding war from the rival, so Wang Han shuts him down with a massive donation. Wang Han casually drops a massive donation, leaving the rival fuming at his showy display, while he insists his charity is all for her, as they head inside to visit the children together, where the kids play happily, oblivious to the drama, and Wang Han finally corners Su for a talk, bringing up the suspicious lookalike she keeps denying, as he questions why she ignores the obvious truth, but the rival interrupts, demanding he back off immediately, while Su shuts Wang Han down, siding with her man. Wang Han walks away from the orphanage, fuming over the rival's arrogance and petty behavior, as he tracks down his old master for guidance, pleading for help despite the old man's retirement, and offering a massive payout to get him back. But the master remains stubbornly disinterested in the cash, claiming he is far too old for such games, yet he eventually offers a deal with one condition, requiring Wang Han to handle a lingering threat first, so he accepts the terms to secure his support. Wang Han learns his next target is a legendary master, causing him to panic over the sheer power gap, but his mentor just laughs off the dangerous assignment, promising that the target will reach out first, while he gets one last jab about his lifestyle choices. Meanwhile, Nanan tries to keep her companion close, insisting they handle their next plans together as Wang Han drives through the city streets, suddenly sensing a sharp, incoming threat when a projectile shatters his windshield out of nowhere. Wang Han narrowly dodges a lethal projectile and immediately leaps out to pursue the attacker, charging up the fire escape with intense focus, while his assailant taunts him from the rooftop, as Nanan and her companion spot his abandoned vehicle, prompting her to demand an immediate stop. So the car screeches to a halt nearby, and she rushes out to investigate the scene, finding the damaged car surrounded by concerned onlookers, who point toward the rooftop where the culprit fled. Wang Han leaps across the rooftops in pursuit, while onlookers below panic at the dangerous display, as the two fighters trade heavy blows mid-air, balancing precariously on the edge of the building, leaving the crowd watching in absolute terror, where the attacker tries to land a finishing strike, but Wang Han blocks the move with ease, as the assailant attempts to drag him down, while the bystanders wonder about the intense rivalry until they clash again in a powerful exchange. Wang Han deflects a high-speed kick while his opponent maintains the relentless pressure, forcing him to pivot on the narrow ledge as the attacker lunges in for another strike. But Wang Han counters with a sharp blow, sending them both tumbling across the building exterior, while the hooded assailant mocks his fighting style, prompting a heated retort from our guy as they collide in a burst of energy, leaving the outcome hanging in the balance. Wang Han lands a heavy strike, sending his opponent crashing down to the roof, leaving the hooded attacker reeling from the impact, while Nanan watches the intense rooftop struggle unfold. As Wang Han follows up with another decisive blow, prompting Nanan to rush toward the building entrance, while Wang Han calls in his team for backup, dragging the defeated assailant away for a proper interrogation. As Nanan arrives at the scene looking for him, only to find his car gone and no trace left. Wang Han calls out to Nanan as she exits the car, but she ignores him, leaving him behind on the street, while he sits in his vehicle with the captured assailant getting a tense phone call about a missing treasure. So he dismisses the caller's wild claims with a smirk, until the caller threatens someone close to him, forcing Wang Han to order his driver to turn around, as they speed off toward his residence to intervene, where a mysterious hand reaches for the door handle, and Nanan arrives at his place, calling out for him. Nanan enters the room to find a captive, realizing with shock that it is someone she knows, but before she can react, a sudden danger emerges as the captive screams out a desperate warning, and an unknown attacker lunges from the shadows, catching Nanan completely off guard with a strike, leaving her pinned down and struggling to breathe, while the mysterious assailant looms over her, claiming a strange connection to her family history, leaving Nanan to wonder if the rumors are true. Nanan finds herself pinned down by the mysterious woman, who quickly gains the upper hand in the struggle, demanding to know why she is hunting for Wang Han, while making it clear that some secrets are dangerous and warning her to stay away from his risky lifestyle, as she demands a specific item be handed over immediately, leaving Nanan completely confused by the sudden intense threat, while the woman insists that Nanan deny knowing her identity, as she prepares to make a swift and silent exit, just as Wang Han walks in and catches them both. Wang Han bursts in, demanding they release Nanan, but the impatient sister scolds her sibling for stalling, and Wang Han lunges forward to intervene in the struggle, while the sister lashes out, desperate to secure the prize. Yet Wang Han quickly shields Nanan from the sudden aggression, as he dismisses their claims that the item is missing, while they argue over the location of the stolen goods, so he scoops Nanan up to get her to safety, while the sister insists the deal is already long gone, and Wang Han probes for the truth about Li Wenyuan. Wang Han strikes a deal to keep the peace, as the sister makes a cold, swift exit, leaving him to wonder about her erratic behavior, while Nanan finally stirs from her daze, wandering into the room to find him alone, and demanding to know where the other woman went. So Wang Han offers her a glass of water, admitting he is used to being misunderstood by her, until his phone lights up with a call, forcing him to head out for a new job. Wang Han tells Nanan to eat while he heads out, leaving her alone to process the sudden departure, as she wonders just how many secrets he is hiding, while his team waits outside to whisk him away, speeding off toward the river crossing for their mission, where he checks a message about spying on Li Wenyuan, realizing he is not the only agent on the job, as the team demands everyone surrender their personal phones, so he hands over his device to maintain their cover, while the team prepares to move in on the target. Wang Han rounds up his crew for a quick departure, ordering everyone to head straight for the old dock, as the vehicles peel away in a cloud of dust, arriving at the waterfront where a massive ship awaits, with Wang Han and his associates surveying the scene, when they unexpectedly run into a familiar face, who confirms she has the mysterious item in hand, prompting her to ask for Wang Han's support, as the group coordinates their next move together, deciding to split up and ride in separate cars. This convoy speeds off toward their destination, while Wang Han chats with his companion inside, who seems more focused on her appearance than danger, even showing off her new nails during the ride, until their driver notices something suspicious on the road, though he remains confident in their master's security, as a massive truck suddenly barrels toward them, forcing Wang Han to shout a desperate warning while the heavy vehicle slams into their car, and Wang Han kicks the door open to escape. Wang Han pulls her to safety, as their vehicle is completely wrecked, leaving him stunned by the sudden ambush, while a group of armed attackers surrounds them, forcing Wang Han to face the incoming blades, as the thugs charge in for a strike, while he wonders who sent these masked goons, and he steps up to protect his companion, as one assailant lunges with a sharp weapon, but Wang Han counters with a powerful kick. Wang Han disarms one of the attackers, keeping his companion shielded as the group closes in, noting with a dry remark that he forgot his weapon, while he deftly dodges a sharp, incoming strike, realizing the masked fighter looks strangely familiar, as the assailant tries to corner him in the street, but Wang Han manages to grab his opponent's mask, finally revealing the face of his old acquaintance, Kong Hongzhe, who immediately orders his remaining goons to attack, forcing Wang Han to prepare for a desperate final stand. Wang Han narrowly deflects a sharp blade, while his companion cries out in genuine alarm, revealing the masked assailant behind the sudden attack, and Wang Han recognizes the man as Master Xia, leaving everyone stunned by this unexpected hostile confrontation, as Wang Han demands they drop their weapons, while he quickly ushers his companion to safety. But the master insists on keeping his identity hidden, as his lackeys swarm in to reclaim the goods, forcing forcing the group to scatter as the chase begins. Wang Han makes a quick getaway with his companion, while the motorcyclist aggressively demands the mysterious package, but a sudden blade strike interrupts their standoff, forcing the pair to dodge the incoming threat, as Wang Han keeps his partner shielded from harm, checking the contents of the box for a moment before making a split-second decision to toss it, throwing the item into the air to create chaos, while a rival fighter lunges to claim the prize. And the motorcyclist prepares to strike as tensions boil. Wang Han realizes the box is empty, so he quickly pivots to secure a motorcycle, ushering his companion onto the bike for a getaway, as they peel away with speed and confidence, leaving their pursuers choking on a cloud of dust, while they navigate the busy streets with ease. And his companion comments on his impressive driving skills, until his phone suddenly rings in the middle of traffic, showing an incoming call from Bai Deming, who demands to know if he has the goods. Wang Han confirms the mission's success over the phone as they arrive at the quiet, sprawling estate, where he returns the recovered treasure to Mr. Bai, earning some well-deserved praise for his heroic efforts. Though he quickly shifts focus to his next objective, escorting Miss Chi back to the safety of her room, where she checks in on his plans for the evening, expressing her gratitude for his life-saving intervention today, while she tries to pin down his schedule for tomorrow. But he keeps his distance, prioritizing his upcoming tasks. Wang Han encourages his companion to get some rest, but he is quickly intercepted by a concerned associate, who notes that their employer is clearly displeased, so they head back to the villa to debrief, where the team gathers to discuss the recent ambush, as the sixth master points out a major security breach, suggesting that someone in their inner circle is talking, which leaves the loyal crew feeling shocked and defensive, as the master questions his most trusted right-hand man, while a suspicious member tries to pin the blame on Wang Han. This crew praises Wang Han for his heroic rescue, while he presses the boss to identify the mole. But the impatient leader decides to handle things personally, suddenly taking out a subordinate with a swift strike, as he declares that traitors have no place here, leaving the others shocked by this brutal, sudden execution, while they inspect the fallen man for hidden evidence, uncovering a recording device tucked away in his clothing, which confirms the boss's suspicion about the internal leak, as he warns the remaining members to stay loyal. This crew disperses after the tense internal confrontation, but Mr. Bai stops Wang Han before he leaves, offering him a well-earned day off to relax, though a sudden phone call interrupts their quiet moment, as Wang Han answers a request from Director Xia, who wants to speak with him about his daughter, so Wang Han hands the phone over to the director, keeping things professional while they exchange polite greetings, leaving Miss Chi curious about her father's sudden interest, as a mysterious loud explosion rocks the entire building. This subordinate questions his master about Wang Han, suggesting they eliminate him to avoid any loose ends, but the master refuses to cross such a dangerous line, revealing that Wang Han is protected by Lin Qingyun. Yet the subordinate persists, suggesting they target his family, only to get shut down by a swift corrective strike, as the master insists on maintaining a shred of honor, leaving the disgruntled underling to plot his own revenge, while Wang Han arrives back at the scene unaware, and checks in with his companion about her family. Wang Han helps Sister Tian with her bags, as her cousin arrives to greet them both, immediately assuming Wang Han is a family member, but Tian quickly clarifies he is just a neighbor, while the mother thanks him for arranging her surgery, though the cousin remains skeptical of his humble lifestyle, questioning how a poor guy drives such expensive cars, so Wang Han plays it cool by claiming a rental, leaving the cousin unimpressed by his supposed vanity, as he quietly excuses himself from the awkward encounter. Wang Han returns home to find his companion waiting, but she immediately confronts him with a sharp attitude, acting like a possessive partner despite his clear confusion, and she even tries to physically push him away, leaving Wang Han baffled by her sudden, aggressive mood, as he questions why she is lurking in his home, while she claims his place is the only secure hideout. Then she turns the tables by asking about his sister, but Wang Han ignores her games to check the news, where a report about escaped patients catches his eye. Wang Han shows his companion the news report, as they both struggle to place the man's face, staring at the photo of the patient in question, while they rack their brains for any shared memory, sitting together in the quiet room to analyze clues until the name Wu Fa finally clicks for them, triggering a sudden, sharp realization for our hero, recalling the man's brief stint in the martial world, where he was known for his unsettling, constant smile and his strange obsession with debating monks and meditation. Wu Fa's twisted logic reveals a dangerous, obsessive mind, leaving Wang Han to reflect on the man's dark history as he explains the situation to his companion, noting that the supposedly defunct Hero Alliance is likely active, which suggests that Li Wenyuan is pulling the strings behind everything. But their serious conversation gets interrupted by an unexpected visitor, as the woman asks to crash at his place for the night, though Wang Han immediately shuts down the request with zero hesitation, standing firm on his boundary despite her persistent, annoyed complaints, and she storms off, clearly frustrated by his complete lack of hospitality. Wang Han tries to explain the misunderstanding, but his companion isn't buying his excuses, so she storms off, leaving him completely baffled, and he spends the night doing intense push-ups, until a morning phone call breaks his routine, as he heads out into the bustling city, pulling up to the curb with perfect timing, where his friend is already waiting for him, looking sharp and ready for their planned outing, so they head off together to start shopping. This shopping spree continues for hours on end, with Wang Han lugging around an endless mountain of bags as the sun finally sets on their long day out, and his companion teases him for his lack of stamina, though he insists he can keep up with her energy. So they decide to hit a karaoke bar to keep the night going, arriving at a flashy, high-end venue under the moonlight, where they prepare to head inside for some entertainment. But they immediately cross paths with a group of strangers, as Wang Han realizes he has run into some familiar trouble. Wang Han accidentally bumps into a loud, intoxicated stranger, who immediately starts a scene, acting like he owns the place, but Wang Han stays calm, offering a polite apology to de-escalate. Yet the guy ignores him, turning his attention to the lady, and he shamelessly demands her contact info with a gross grin, so she shuts him down cold, refusing to entertain his advances, which only makes the guy more aggressive and entitled, forcing Wang Han to step up and tell him to back off. But the drunkard just keeps pushing, clearly looking for a fight as he continues to act out, completely oblivious to the danger. Wang Han clamps down on the drunkard's wrist, immediately silencing the man's loud, obnoxious demands, as the guy calls for his buddies to intervene. But Wang Han shuts him down with a swift strike, sending the instigator crashing hard onto the floor, while he effortlessly dispatches the remaining thugs in seconds, leaving the group scattered and defeated on the ground, as Wang Han looms over the leader with cold resolve, delivering a final, firm blow to end the confrontation, and he calmly asks what they want to do now. Wang Han warns the group to leave immediately, as the woman realizes she has picked a fight with the wrong crowd, and they quickly retreat inside to find some safety, while the thugs identify their target as a powerful local boss, leading to a heated confrontation where the boss demands answers, as the woman desperately tries to explain her lack of knowledge, while the boss insists that his reputation has been severely damaged, and he calls in reinforcements to settle the score, leaving Wang Han and his companion oblivious in their private room, where they prepare to sing, completely unaware of the incoming trouble. Wang Han and his companion settle into the karaoke room, where he hilariously belts out a song to her delight, leaving her laughing at his surprisingly goofy performance, as they prepare to swap the mic for another round. But their private moment gets cut short by intruders, as a local boss storms in with his entire crew, looking ready to start trouble over the earlier scuffle, yet he immediately pivots to a polite, nervous apology, offering to cover their expenses after realizing who he challenged, and they finally get back to their night undisturbed. This troublemakers return with reinforcements to settle scores, pointing out Wang Han as the one who caused trouble while the boss confronts them with a menacing glare, causing Wang Han's companion to shrink back in genuine fear as Wang Han steps forward to shield her from them, ignoring the boss's arrogant threats and posturing for a fight because he refuses to let anyone threaten his people, while the boss draws a weapon to force his hand. But Wang Han remains unimpressed by the display of aggression, giving the group one final warning before things get physical. This aggressive group demands vengeance for their earlier defeat, charging forward with weapons drawn to settle the score. But a calm, authoritative voice interrupts their reckless advance, as a well-dressed man steps in to question their behavior, while Wang Han watches the scene unfold with quiet amusement, and the thugs boast about their connection to a local boss. Yet the newcomer remains unimpressed by their empty threats, delivering a swift, decisive strike to silence the loudmouth, revealing his true identity as the actual Zhang Qinghu, leaving the terrified thugs to realize they messed up big. This newcomer shuts eyes down the thugs with a swift kick, leaving the punks stunned as they realize they messed up, while the boss tries to flex his connections to save face. But his crew gets absolutely dismantled in a matter of seconds, ending the fight before the troublemakers even know what hit them. As Wang Han keeps his companion shielded from the chaotic scene, and the mysterious man politely offers to clear out the trash, ordering his own subordinates to drag the losers away for discipline, while one of the agitators tries to use a fake identity to escape, only to get shut down immediately for her pathetic, desperate lies. Wang Han brushes off his companion's curiosity, claiming he just did a small favor, but she decides she has had enough fun, though Wang Han suddenly catches a metallic scent, realizing something is terribly wrong in the hallway, so he pulls her away to safety immediately, shielding her as they turn a dark corner, where she gasps at the grim sight ahead, discovering a scene of total chaos and defeat, leaving them both stunned by the heavy toll. Wang Han grills the thug on his perception, questioning if the world is truly shifting, while the confused man tries to answer logically. But Wang Han looms over him with intensity, claiming it is the man's heart that wavers, before delivering a sudden firm strike to his chest, leaving his companion shocked by the sheer cruelty. As Wang Han wears a chilling, satisfied grin, revealing his location at a local mental facility, where a familiar face finally recognizes him. Wang Han is stunned by the sudden encounter, as a man in hospital attire greets him warmly, prompting Wang Han to urge his companion to flee, while the stranger's presence creates an atmosphere of dread, forcing them to sprint away from the unsettling individual, as the surrounding crowd panics at the chaotic scene, with the persistent man chasing them down for answers, while Wang Han desperately tries to keep his distance as the stranger rambles about his deep philosophical confusion, and Wang Han listens intently to the man's strange theories. Wang Han tries to lead the eccentric patient away, but the man insists on dragging him to a new location, while police swarm the area to secure the dangerous scene, as onlookers spot the pair perched high above the building, where the persistent man refuses to let Wang Han leave, claiming that true wisdom only comes from a high vantage point, and he physically clings to Wang Han to demand an answer, While back at home, two women watch the chaos unfold online, completely shocked by the viral footage of the rooftop struggle as they finally realize the man involved is actually Wang Han. Wang Han tries to guide the eccentric patient away, but the man insists on sticking to his side, claiming he owes a debt for the recent insight. Yet Wang Han is distracted by a sudden incoming call, brushing off the patient's prying questions about his personal life, while the man continues to pester him with strange observations, forcing Wang Han to find a way to create some distance, as he suddenly leaps away to escape the persistent fellow, leaving the patient to smile with a knowing, unsettling confidence, while a new arrival appears to reclaim the runaway patient. A contact updates Wang Han on the military's movements, noting that Wu Fa is being used as bait, so Wang Han rushes off to handle the situation, deciding it is finally time to head back home. As he walks through the quiet neighborhood streets, where he unexpectedly runs into Sister Lily, who is out with Aunt Tian for a stroll, and they exchange brief pleasantries about his late return, though Wang Han is still bothered by his recent stalker, only to realize the persistent man has followed him home. Wang Han warns the ladies about the approaching patient, but the man in hospital garb recognizes his old acquaintance, leaving everyone confused as they reconnect after all this time. Though the patient insists that Wang Han lacks inner peace, so Wang Han tries to usher the group away to safety, yet the persistent man continues his unsolicited philosophical lecture, forcing Wang Han to deflect a sudden strange energy strike, which leaves the onlookers stunned by the unexpected display, as the patient remains calm while crackling with mysterious power, and he continues his pursuit despite the warnings to stop. A sudden projectile strikes the man, leaving him reeling in shock and pain as the hospital patient stands over his fallen target, while medical staff arrive to secure the chaotic scene, and the patient calmly offers a strange hollow blessing, ignoring the doctor who fires another tranquilizer dart which the patient effortlessly deflects with his bare hand, before he leaps away to evade the approaching team, closing the distance to confront his pursuers head-on as the ground shatters under the weight of his power. This patient continues his strange, crackling display, so Wang Han hustles his companions away immediately, while the medical team pursues the runaway patient, who easily brushes off their attempts at restraint, revealing his true dangerous power to the onlookers.